The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey.
Why?
Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pig.
Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Feel Good Friday, March 14th, 2025. This program starts now. Sports are fantastic, and obviously we're incredibly lucky that we get to talk about them every single day. On this Feel Good Friday, our job is to do one thing. That is to thrust you into a weekend of March Madness, magic, that is going to be stupendous. And one weekend that's going to be better than the others. You know why? Because it's the next weekend. The term Friday is one that is supposed to be celebrated. It's the end of a long work week. Now to the service industry, I know it's just getting started for you guys. We appreciate everything you're about to do. But for all of us, let's understand that today is supposed to be a great day, especially with the weather being like 71 degrees here in middle of America, with 2 days ahead of us of great sports, including golf that's about to show up. Hockey's going to be out there, basketball, college, and in the NBA. And if you look on ESPN News during the day, during the weekend, you might see something like tire wrestling or dodgeball. Ooh. You might be able to go out and get some fresh air, touch some grass. Let's go and have the greatest weekend of all time. And today, we're going to try to make sure that is an easier thing to do. We have Ian Rappaport joining us in about 9 minutes for the weekly wrap-up with Rap Sheet and Friends, us being the friends, he being Rap Sheet. We cannot wait to chit-chat with him. The numbers have been out on how much money has been spent on this first 5 days of the free agency period. Spoiler, it's over $4.5 billion in contracts.
Whoa.
That is so much money. Now, a lot of these contracts, the big number is all fugazi, because potentially in there you got to solve a world's mystery and what is Antarctica? You have to do all those things. You have to get to the bottom of it to get any of those money. But the guaranteed money, too, bigger this year than it's ever been, and it's only going up. Congrats to the league. Congrats to all of the guys that signed these deals and changed their entire lives. And then in the next hour, we'll have Sham Charania join us. We have a couple requests out to some legendary college ball folks. We'll see if they respond in time before the show ends. And it's going to be a good one. The Talks the Tables here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. Con man, looking a lot of pizzazz today.
Yeah, thank you. This is a pizzazz jacket. The color's a little off. It's more so the Grinch. But, I had such an amazing morning. My DoorDash got here. It was the wrong DoorDash. Hold on, boys. It was the right DoorDash. It was Zona's. I don't know if there's a Zona out there.
Zona C to be specific.
Zona C to be specific. Your order from First Watch is delightful. Let me just say that. The salad, I'm not a salad guy, but with this salad and the chicken and bacon and the sauce that you have in there, delicious. And then the potatoes with cheese and bacon on top of the potatoes. I've never even had that mixture of something in a meal, and it was delightful. I could not be more happy with the wrong DoorDash order. I don't know if that ever happens. And also, I know Zona is probably, kicking rocks because my DoorDash order, learned, sucks. Yeah, I learned today my DoorDash order from that place blows. But hers or his was fantastic. And then, of course, just as you kind of get into college basketball, especially these last couple of days, it is getting me pretty pumped up for next week with the March Madness.
Little zaniness.
We actually all, I believe, maybe not all, me and you, however, did place a pretty large wager on the Johnnies, the Godfather of New York, Rick Pitino, kind of making his way all the way to the Final Four.
I heard they're a tough team. I heard they cheat. Seth Greenberg said they foul on every possession, but they actually change what the definition of a foul is whenever you're playing them because that's how they play. That's what Pitino ball, and he said he got the boys rolling. I said, you know what? I believe you, Seth, especially for Pitino. What a good story.
Yeah, come on.
With everything that happened in Louisville, okay, we learned.
Yeah. Sure.
We experienced. We read about, and we all said, wow, I don't know how that even is possible in the modern day. But hey, Patino's living his life. So then he goes to Iona, then he goes to St. John's, and all of a sudden now they're all the way back in it. And we put a pretty large, little hefty wager on them to go. First bet in a long time for me. And I couldn't be more proud of what Paisan I'm betting on.
Yeah, let's go Johnny's. The Red Storm, they got 6 dudes. I've been kind of ingratiated in the Rick Pitino St. John system since about 2016. Okay, so it's not like I'm just showing up at the front door, as they're getting good. A roommate of mine in college, he has season ticket to the Johnny's. We've been following him since then. Okay, so
I don't think Pitino was there though.
No, but Pitino was the head coach of the Boston Celtics. All right, let me tell you about that time. It was tough. Very, very tough, but some people stuck by him, and I was one of those people. Okay, Louisville, a lot of things did happen. You know what else happened?
What?
He won a national championship, so it's not.
Nobody talks about that.
It's not like it was all bad. It was terrible, but it wasn't all bad. Okay, he brought a lot of happiness to that, town as well over there in Kentucky, and yeah, I think with New York, the way the basketball is going in New York, the Knicks players kind of hate their coach, asking, "Hey, can you stop playing us a little bit?"
Isn't that kind of the problem every single year?
Every single
I'm not really
year.
a basketball person, but I remember when they played the Pacers, everybody thought, well, they're not going to be able to just continue to go because they're all either dinged up, hurt, or tired, physically exhausted because they were only running I think they had 6 man was basically all it was. And I think the people in the basketball world were like, they're not going to be able, at some point, this is going to end for them. And it did. Yeah. I think it was because they were exhausted. So going into this year, I think the convo was maybe the Tibbs won't do that. They're going to change the way they play. I guess they're doing it even worse this year than they did it last year.
Yeah, doing the exact same thing. And funny enough.
Which we like people playing.
Yeah.
We like people playing. But this is a marathon here now. There's a lot of games.
There's a sweet spot.
And it's, like opting out, people don't love.
Sure.
Running people to death, love it. If you're not a fan of the team. But if you're a fan of the team, you have to think, these guys aren't going to be able to survive the length of this season, especially whenever the only thing that matters is at the very end of 82 games whenever you go forward. But he's got to play, and he knows his boys better than anybody else.
Yeah, I don't think he does because the guy that actually said, hey, can you stop playing us so much is the guy who played the most consecutive basketball games in the history of the NBA, Mikal Bridges. He is basically the journeyman of all journeymen.
He's the Cal Ripken of the NBA.
He's the Cal Ripken of the NBA, sure. I'm not a baseball guy. I don't know what Cal Ripken did, but it was probably something like play a bunch of games straight. So
almost like 3,000 straight.
Boom, 3,000 straight. That is basically the pace that Bridges is on, and unfortunately Tibbs.
Pretty durable.
Yeah, he's a hell of a player. Unfortunately, Tibbs though is running them into the ground, but that's why Pitino, he's going to swoop in. Hey, New York City, this is a basketball city. Hop on the Johnny's train. The Red Storm's coming, baby.
This is what March is all about. Us finding some school that certainly we paid no attention to all basketball season, but now, because there's magic in the air, we're going to watch and we're going to root for them. And I'll tell you what, if they lose, I'll go right to another team. That's March Madness, baby.
Supposed to be.
And West Virginia's in. Look at, from what I've been told, West Virginia is in the tournament. From what I've been told.
According to Joe Lunardi, they are an 11 seed right now. They're trending down, but they're still in.
Trending down. I don't know. We don't have any more games, so we're not going to be able to stop that train if they take.
Well, no, that's what I think. They were probably at maybe a 9 or a 10 seed, and since they lost in the first round, they've slid down. So now, if you look next to their name, they have a little red arrow down, indicating they have bumped down a couple spots on the seed line. But
that's right where West Virginia basketball wants to be.
Sure.
Right where the hoops want to be, and it's been up and down. We had some injuries. Obviously, some very key players got injured, but once we get into the tournament, it's going to be hell. And everybody knows that it's going to be hell. With that being said, if it's not West Virginia, like on your forehead right there, I am pulling for the Johnny.
Let's go, Johnny.
Let's go, Johnny.
Come on.
And maybe the Bonnies, too, because Woj is over there GMing. Are they going to be in? They'll be in the tournament.
They're down by 8 right now to VCU.
I don't think so. I think they got to win the conference.
They got to win the
tournament to get in.
A-10,
Woj ain't making the tournament?
Nah, I don't think so. He's worried a little bit too much about selling those phones and trying to bring in more NIL money than, making sure that they got a spot in the big dance.
I did see that. We never got a chance to chat about that. That was very interesting. Can you certify any of that thing, or is it just...
I don't know, and I think didn't they come in right away and they're like, yeah, you can't fucking do that. We're not letting you do that. I don't think so. So that was kind of just the end of that, but he was trying to sell them there.
But how would they do? He would have to take a photo with said phone at the same exact time that the news is broken, so then people know. Just from watching Pawn Stars. This is just from me watching Pawn Stars. Having to legitimize it is always the problem. That's why they go to all his buddies down the road.
Exactly.
He got an expert on this, got an expert on the Civil War, got an expert on World War II, got an expert on maybe cars. Literally, that is kind of the thing. Can you legitimize that this is whatever they say it is? And then sometimes, it's 100% real. You got a $400,000 item right here. It's going to sit on a shelf, obviously. Got some dings in it. Small demographic, niche group of people who buy this. I can give you, guess what, $22 grand.
Okay.
That was Pawn Stars. Okay, that was Pawn Stars football right there. That was literally what it was. But if it wasn't legitimized, then it was basically like, I'll give you $4 for this.
Yeah, sex junk.
This thing is absolutely nothing. Might as well take this to a scrapyard and try to get a few pennies from this thing for being metal. So I don't know. When I saw those went up for sale, I was always wondering, like, how can he legitimize that those are the moments? And maybe it just takes him to a museum of sports.
Yeah, there you go.
Maybe takes him to a museum, maybe a Hall of Fame or something.
Yeah, basketball Hall of Fame.
That's right.
They're a mess.
And granted, now maybe Sham should think about retiring the Luca phone.
Yeah.
And we'll talk to him in the next hour. And maybe he should he should try to figure out how we can make sure that's the case. Basketball is awesome. Whenever we're forced to watch it.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
The NBA's doing it.
Oh, yeah.
I think the NBA's doing it right now. College will obviously do it over the next few weeks here with everything that's about to pop off. Conference tournaments happening now. March Madness happening here in a matter of weeks. And I think it's going to get going. I think we're going to become big fans of that. At least act like we are.
Mm-hmm.
So we hope you all will enjoy the ride with us. We have some money on the St. John Johnnies, but they won't be the last team we bet on
No way.
in this particular tournament. One half of the Hammer.
Dahn.
Cowboys AP tone there. Great sweatshirt. The players
you.
also this weekend.
Yeah.
Cannot wait to watch some real golf on Sunday and Saturday.
Yeah, the top 10's looking pretty good right now. Minwoo Lee is your leader, but the other
I saw him grind out a par.
people love Minwoo.
He hit one under a tree, like we shanked the drive.
Yes.
Then he hit one under a tree that like rolled onto the green, like a beautiful shot. And then he rolls his putt in, and it's like par. Like obviously these golfers are so much better than us, but you got to have the golf gods on your side a little bit. Too.
Yeah, you do. But the top 10 right now looks pretty good. I mean, Rory's in second. Our guy Akshay sitting there in fourth.
Fatia.
Colin Morikawa's at T5. Ricky Fowler, Billy Horschel, Scotty Scheffler, Tommy Fleetwood. Those Cantlay. That's your top 10. It's looking pretty good right now. So yeah, hopefully Saturday and Sunday you get to that 17th Island Green and there's a lot on the line because like this is basically the start of the golf season for a lot of people. Is once we get here, yeah.
That's what I was about to say. This is the first big one, right?
Yes.
This is the first one where everybody's at it.
Yeah, well, like the Arnie Palmer Invitational was last week. Not everyone is obviously there because it's an invitational, but this one, what were they calling them? Signature events. I believe this is the first signature event, of the season.
Okay, Scotty still Scotty?
Scotty's still Scotty.
Okay, so Scotty wins.
Well, that's the thing. I just looked at those odds and I was like, plus 650 for Scoot Scheffler. What the hell is going on? Usually
I was a little confused by that as well. Minwoo Lee currently in the lead, so I guess that's why they have him above him. Rory at plus 160. Okay. Is this Rory's year? Is it about to be Rory's year?
What?
That's awesome.
I thought he was freaking out in the practice round.
Doesn't matter. Rory's gonna.
Kid brought up the Masters drive. I looked into what AJ was talking about. You remember Masters, I think, on 10. He had the lead as a young lad.
Yep, way up.
And he worst shank in the history, and obviously ended up ruining. Some college golfer was on the tee box at 11 at the Players and said, hey, don't do what you did at the Masters, like right next to him. And there wasn't a lot of people. So that was the person he won up. I think he grabbed his phone and just walked away with it.
Oh, correct.
Yeah, and then that guy got removed from the program. I don't know if he got his phone back. I don't know what all happened with the phone. But yeah, Rory was in it a little bit. And it feels like, okay, is this going to be Rory's year again? Good. Congrats, Rory. That's what the odds makers are saying, right?
Yeah.
Right now, I mean, he's up. What is he up? 5 strokes on Scotty in second, 1 behind Minwoo. So, like, if you are normally one of the best golfers in the world at that time, and you are in the lead or close to the lead, you're going to be the favorite.
Okay. Good luck to Rory.
What if you have a history of choking away that lead every single time?
That's what that college golfer was saying. But
The winning
you can always change that. Remember, he was guy.
Yeah.
Then he kind of rattled a little bit. He can come back to being a guy for sure.
Yeah, 100%. He will give us a big number, though, at some point. It'll probably be tomorrow, and then Sunday he'll be right back in it.
Yeah, and then Scotty's going to be lurking the entire time, and then obviously he's going to do what he does. Let's pivot away from golf and from basketball. Let's get back to the NFL. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the weekly wrap-up with Rap Sheet and Friends. Us being the friends, he being Rap Sheet. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Ian Wrap-Up Boy. Wow, man. That felt good to say. That's the first time saying that in a few years. Let's wrap up the week that was with our friend Rap Sheet. Yeah, it did. We just saw a post from Adam Schefter, and I believe we did the math with Spotrac as well. Over $4.8 billion or something in contracts this last week. Did you expect it to be this active? And what's the big takeaway in your mind from free agency this week?
All right. Well, first of all, the money is staggering. I didn't do the calculations. I would imagine
Lazy!
math is not like exactly my thing. Like when like Max has to have me help him with his math homework. I say, ask mama. Like, it's not exactly my deal. I have someone else do that.
An Ivy League.
So I don't know if that's right.
Where'd you go? You went to that
Columbia.
Columbia, yeah.
Yeah, but like the math, I mean, I did take math, but it was like surfaces and knots or something, I think was my math class.
How old's Max?
Max is 11.
You can't do 11-year-old. What is that, 5th grade, 4th grade?
6 times 7.
It's 6th grade. It's algebra. You think I can do algebra?
What is algebra? Multiplication,
I don't know.
division, and all that
X's
shit?
and
Like
three numbers and
3x
I don't know.
minus 4 equals 18,
Yeah.
and x equals 6 or whatever.
Oh, my God. That's basic
I agree.
shit. This is basic
No,
shit, Rap
that's
Sheet.
very confusing. I'm not even kidding. Like,
Don't they have the key right there? X. What is
Yeah.
X equal? Like they do the entire.
For
I
11
obviously
years.
You don't
haven't
understand,
done
though.
this.
There's parentheses and there's different like
Please excuse
letters
me.
and
Yeah,
numbers.
you hit the parentheses
PEMDAS.
first. What are we even talking about? You hit
Whatever.
the parentheses first. I haven't done this since what, 6th grade?
Yeah.
This is my first time hearing about this. Are you kidding me?
I'm gonna set cool. I will.
Columbia
send you
just
his
lets
homework, and
anybody
you
in.
can figure
Okay,
it out.
I didn't know. Columbia just was it pass fail operation there at Columbia as well.
I did have to pass fail math class, yes, but not that one. Or is that what you meant? That may not be what you meant.
No, are all classes pass fail at Columbia? Because I know, like at Brown, I had a teammate that was at Brown, and everything was pass fail, and I'm like, what? So you just got to pass the class?
They do
Is that
let
true? I
fun
don't
fact,
know
they
if
do
that's
let
true.
anybody in. My first football letter was from Columbia.
I don't think they would have accepted you.
Hey, let's go.
That was them just snooping around.
They
Sending
said
them
it.
out.
How many people from Plum High School are getting accepted to Columbia?
Tony Diggs.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I do wonder if, you know what, congrats to you, Ted. Thanks
Hell yeah, Tony.
thanks for being a trailblazer.
I
out
think
of
my
Plum.
parents have it. So
We need more. We need more out of Plum, not just Tony Diggs getting accepted to Columbia. I expect that is right around the corner. 4.8 billion plus is what we're being told, even though you're too lazy to figure it out.
Sure.
And you would have to X those numbers, and add.
Yeah, I mean, someone did. But here's the thing to me. It's like I started this, really started digging in on free agency probably 3 weeks ago, and everyone kind of said the same thing. Quality of players isn't great. It's the worst quality we've seen in a while. And I'm sort of like, I feel like we hear that every year because if you're, there are some very good players who get to free agency, but usually great players who have zero questions, usually they get locked up by their teams, right? So I feel like that's just something teams say. It's like, the quality isn't great. Like, in the end, free agent prices are still free agent prices. And once you get there, like, you really can cash in. Like, the money has been astounding. Everyone has overpaid. I think that's the way it is every year. It's great for business because it drives up the prices for everyone else. And it's also very fun for us. And if you're the guys who get the bag, and there's been an unbelievable amount of them, not just like the, Milton Williams of the world. I mean, like,
Hell yeah.
mid players are getting huge numbers. And I'm like, that is great for everyone because everyone gets paid.
Yeah, it's life-changing shit for a lot of people, and it's been fun to watch. Even DK, who got that massive deal with the Pittsburgh Steelers, him talking about, his fiance and like how happy he was. It's like you could see you work your entire life for these moments, and you're dreaming of getting this type of paycheck, and obviously a lot of people did. Now, there's a couple people that are still outstanding in the conversation. Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, Rapshi, where do we stand with Cooper Kupp? It was reported overnight the Cowboys have kind of made a push, and then there are multiple teams still involved. Is it still at that 12-plus team mark, or has it been whittled down to 5-plus teams that are now kind of in a bidding war for Cooper Kupp? And what's the number going to be at?
Yeah, I mean, I would say there were a lot of teams interested. The market was, I thought it would be pretty hot. It was pretty hot. A lot of teams interested. Sort of the problem now, not that there's a problem, because he's going to do really fine. But the problem is a lot of teams have spent a lot of their money. So, this is the reason why people like to get free before free agency is because, let's say he was free a week ago. Let's say he was free like Devonta Adams a week ago. Might he been able to get that 20-plus contract? Maybe. But that's just not the way it worked, and he was cut when he was cut just because of some contractual things and whatever. He's going to do fine. I believe the list is getting narrowed down. I believe we'll have a decision today. And I think there's, some really good teams interested. The Seahawks have been a team that's been interested. The Saints have been in the mix. You'd mentioned the Cowboys. I don't get the sense they're in it now, but I believe they checked in at some point. There's been several teams. And I think, Cooper Kupp, he's 31, right? Obviously, the numbers over the last couple of years are the numbers, but he is still a very, very good receiver. Seems to be to me more like the final piece for a championship caliber team now, as opposed to like the key cog that he was like 8 years ago. But I think he's going to do very well.
Okay, so very well. Is that like 12, 13, 14, 15, 10? What is very well?
It sounds like probably more than 12.
Ooh.
And I mean, maybe up to 15. Yeah. I don't actually know the firm numbers, but if you say to me like what teams have been discussing, I think that's probably in the ballpark. Yeah.
Interesting, because you did say in your answer that he could have got more than 20 if he was released earlier. Obviously, that was during the trade stuff that was allegedly happening behind the scenes for Cooper Kupp. Now he's a free agent. I'm excited to see who signs him. And if it is a team for cheaper than that has a Super Bowl quality run, like if the Chiefs sign Cooper Kupp, everybody will go, of course. You know, I don't even know how the Chiefs would be able to do it, but everybody would say, of course, the Kansas City Chiefs do this. Or the Buffalo Bills, or somebody, like if one of these teams that are at the very top sign him and get a deal done, you're going to see so many other people go like, well, why couldn't we do it? And then the question would be, can Cooper Kupp stay healthy? And if he can, he's a dog. Pulling for you, Kupp. Pulling for you, Coop. Let's go, Coop. All right, let's talk about some other outstanding stories happening, especially one that has you insiders a little bit perturbed, we'll say. This is AP Tone's question for you.
Yeah, he's referencing Aaron Rodgers. He does feel like he has you guys a little perturbed because you're just sitting there and you have to wait to see what Aaron's going to do. There are reports that Aaron's team said that a decision is coming soon. I guess potentially his team told the Steelers and Giants that, or whatever it is. What do you guys think you know or think you're hearing? What's the latest you know on Aaron Rodgers?
All right, so I'm not perturbed. I never, I don't mind talking about Aaron Rodgers. I've done it for the last 5 years, forever. Just like if someone's like, would you talk about the Cowboys? I'm like, of course I would talk about the Cowboys. Like, these people keep us in business. Like, I am good with Aaron Rodgers. I also, would I like everything wrapped up in a nice little bow? Someone sends me the scoop, I tweet it, and that's the end. Like, that would be the ideal situation for me. Like, let's try to make that happen. Otherwise, though,
let's try to make that happen. Okay, that's you still campaigning.
I'm just saying,
if we can get that to happen, that would be really
I'm
cool.
Just saying, if he's Aaron Rodgers is a friend of the program. If he's watching this now, he might be like, you know what? I'm going to send it to him, and then that would really be great for me.
Okay, so you're openly campaigning for the story. So you're not perturbed, but you certainly are eager, and that's you're not the only one, though. Yeah. All of Pittsburgh is seemingly getting eager as well, and it's like Aaron has never played for the Steelers. There's no clue if Aaron wants to play. Like, granted, we all assume Aaron's going to play again. Right. I think everybody's assuming, us included. But that's not. I don't think that's been officialized.
Nope.
I don't think anything's been talked about like that.
I wanted to say something about that because you said that to me a couple days ago. You're like, well, are you saying he's playing? And I was kind of like, yeah. But, I am also kind of not 100% sure, right? Like, I think these are some decent, pretty good options. I could make a case for the Giants. I can make a case for the Steelers. I know we've talked about that he likes Minnesota. I don't know about that one, but if that ends up being the one, I could certainly make that case. But if he doesn't like them, if he's not 100% committed, then he should definitely not do it. And so, to me, retirement should still be a consideration. I don't know that anything has been ruled out now. And so, to me, you asked me, what's the latest? Those are great. Why did you pick those expressions for each of those teams?
That was D-Bone. I mean, this is a D-Bone picture here, and
funny graphic.
You can kind of tell. You can kind of tell that D-Bone's a part of it. It gets the story done, but it has its shit in it, and that's what you do when you deal with an artist.
Yeah,
it's kind of what you got to do.
It's very good. I like it.
Yeah, D-Bone's a real deal over there. He's got ideas. A lot of them, and we appreciate
creative.
that. We do like that. We like that he hops in that batter's box. You can tell him the exact pitch that's coming, and he goes, "No, I don't think so." And then he'll take a big hack at it, and it's like, okay. And then he'll get right back in here, and that's D-Bone. Hey, D-Bone, love you, D-Bone. Love you, D-Bone. The entire graphics department is really. It's gone up the way. But you're right. Interesting photos. But with that being said, I think he's doing that because everybody in here that is belonging to the Pittsburgh Steelers are like, let's go. Let's just get you the Steelers and let's get this thing rolling. I think that's what Pittsburgh's feeling too. Pittsburgh's like, hey, you have an opportunity to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers. This isn't like begging Aaron Rodgers to come play for the Steelers. Steelers fans are like, you get to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers as opposed to it. And it's interesting how all of a sudden massive decision that Aaron Rodgers has either been putting off for a few years or has been waiting to make. He's a free agent for the first time ever. So, like, there's so much that he's potentially contemplating. And if he wants to retire, Mount Rushmore player, Hall of Famer, richest guy to ever play in the NFL. So it's like there's a lot of shit that's probably bouncing around in a guy who is a deep thinker's
Are those wires? I thought it was AirPods. Are those not AirPods?
He would never use AirPods, bro. You think he's going to let these Bluetooth waves get to his brain? You're out of your fucking mind, dude.
Come on,
Ian.
What do you know? You know nothing.
You haven't covered him at all.
I did not know that he was not an AirPod guy. People knew this?
Oh, yeah.
Dude.
Oh, yeah, dude. Come on, man.
No one has told me this.
You should just let your eyes should have told you this.
That's terrible.
Your eyes should have told you this. Anytime you guys are talking about whatever he's doing or however he's walking, you just look at it.
Yeah, that's fair.
And
that's on me. That's on me.
Plugged in.
That's the issue with you journalists. Okay, you guys think you have it all figured out. Just look. You know, just look. It's right there. But he has openly talked about on this show how, yeah, I'm not letting those Bluetooth waves kind of go
5G
through.
waves.
Yeah, no way, my dude. You guys just calling for this to go there? And also, reliable. I know it's going to work. You know, and he's right. It does work. A little bit annoying, you know.
Sure. No doubt.
Certainly a lot. The AirPods have evolved the convenience of it all.
They get caught.
Lose them a lot, though. I lose the AirPods.
Noise canceling, though. Noise canceling AirPods are pretty great.
I agree. Very good.
Especially on planes.
I lose them a lot, though. Do you lose them? That little thing's tough to keep.
No, I have a ridiculous blue case.
That's cool, man.
Oh, nice, dude.
Nice. Is that Prime? Is that a Prime one?
That's cute.
They pay you for that?
They did not. They did send it to me in the mail, though, along with a Halloween costume one year, which I was.
You dressed up like a Prime bottle?
Yeah, it was awful because I was all blown up. I looked like the Kool-Aid guy. And then, like, you can't actually walk because there's, like, air on your feet, so you're, like, wobbling around. It was ridiculous.
I think it was Speed in Speed was in a bottle, right? In a Prime bottle. I don't think it was that bottle, though.
So annoying.
Probably not.
He can move.
Yeah, but so cool. In Speed, yeah.
Yeah.
But he got RKO'd, I think.
Yes.
On the thing.
Oh,
Yes.
that's cool.
Great pull right there.
Good work, Zeke.
When'd you guys go trick-or-treating, like noon?
Yeah.
No, you go at, like,
And that's
4:30 or
booze?
5.
That's booze in your left hand?
What?
Okay.
What are you talking
Rap.
about?
All right, Rap. Okay. All right, Rap. Next question.
Doing it
Booze
right,
bag. Ty has a question.
Doing it right.
Rap sheet, I know you said that the Giants are still potentially an option for Rodgers, but it seems like that's kind of been eliminated, although they are one of the teams that's basically like begging him to come there. We heard Kirk Cousins said he does want to be a starter next year, but Atlanta might not get rid of him. With the Giants situation and Dable and Shane absolutely needing to win next year, what are the odds that they go after a guy like Cousins if they don't get Rodgers, or are they just going to roll the dice with a rookie quarterback and hope that they win, 9 games to save their jobs next year?
Well, first of all, I don't believe the Giants have been ruled out. Like, I've heard different rumors over the course of the week, but I haven't heard enough to say, like, the Giants are not getting them. Like, at least to me, it feels like they're in the mix. They had Joe Flacco visit
Nice.
Yesterday? Recently. So my sense is if it's not Rodgers, Flacco would be a strong possibility, and then maybe they do draft one. They have number 2, they have number 3, I should say. So the Browns visited with Russell Wilson yesterday. If the Browns decide to sign Russell Wilson, that would give them 2 veterans. That would make me think that maybe they don't draft a quarterback. They could, but make me think maybe they don't. And maybe the next quarterback goes to the Giants, so maybe it's a veteran like Flacco, and then they draft. So there are still options. I mean, the Giants draft 3. Like, they can get a top quarterback. I just think Aaron Rodgers would make it easier for them.
Okay, so let's move to the draft here. Titans going to take quarterback. Browns going to take quarterback. Giants going to take quarterback. What are your, Browns with Russell Wilson, how real is that? Even if they sign Russell Wilson, are they going to draft a QB? Because it's been, reported that the Browns are definitely taking a quarterback. Giants, if they end up without Aaron Rodgers, maybe they sign Flacco. Does it matter? Are they still drafting a quarterback there? What are your kind of leans on what the draft will be for these quarterbacks? And does it matter what the veteran signings are?
Well, I think let's start with the Titans. I think it does matter because the Titans have not signed a
or even looked.
They haven't or even looked. Yeah. Right. So to me, that at least means the Titans are. You can always trade for someone, but at least means the Titans are pretty firmly considering. Maybe it's Cam Ward at number 1. I think if the Browns do sign another veteran quarterback, that would make me think that they may not draft one, which would then mean maybe they're the team that trades out, right? Because if you're not taking one, maybe you trade out. Maybe you go to 3, maybe you go to
6,
7, maybe you go to 9, right? I mean, these are all possibilities now if the Browns are not taking a rookie quarterback and are open for business. I do think the Giants will probably take one. What I don't know is, like, it does seem that Cam Ward, as of right now, is probably, the most likely number 1, but I don't know where that number 2 slots in. I know teams are sort of all over the map, but I don't know where he slots in.
All right. We appreciate your rap. We know you got to do some TV here in about 30 seconds. Thank you for taking time to do the weekly wrap-up with Rap Sheet and Friends. Us being the friends, he being Rap Sheet, you're the man.
You're the man. Thank you, guys.
Stop
Enjoy.
Boozing while you're walking around with the kids.
Be a father once.
Coffee, I was very tired from a long day of
texting with people. Yeah, got it.
This is the only thing. Coffee is the only thing that goes in here. Where is it? See? The only thing.
It was a solo cup.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Your coffee is the Irish coffee, though. We understand that. Ladies and gentlemen, Ian Rappaport.
Yeah, Rashi.
Oh, he's got a good buzz going here. My coffee. Just got a little Bailey's.
Stay loose. Stay loose.
You put cream in your coffee, of course. You got Bailey's? Sir, 6 a.m. I know.
Right?
That's what I'm saying.
Doll.
Rap's a dog, dude. He's an absolute maniac.
Yeah, he is.
Cam Ward, number 1, seemingly the thing.
Yeah. That was,
to the Titans. Mm-hmm. Remember, that was like the big conversation whenever GM down there named
Borgonzi?
Yeah. Mike Borgonzi.
He is GM.
Yeah.
But the
president of Chad Spiker?
Brinker.
Brinker. There it is. Chad Brinker. Sorry, Mr. Brinker. And Mr. Spiker back in West Virginia. That is 100% on me. You don't pass on a generational player or a once-in-generation player is what he said, basically. And that led off for everybody going, oh, Abdul Carter is a once-in-a-generation player. Travis Hunter, actually once-in-a-generation type player, especially in college, being able to play the amount of plays and both sides of the ball that he had. And then everybody was like, well, this quarterback class, they doesn't really have a once-in-a-generation guy. And then you listen to Orlovsky talk after watching the film Cam Ward, and he's like, Cam Ward's a guy. And then you start hearing everybody talking, they're like, Cam Ward's a guy. The more people talk to Cam Ward, he's a leader. Obviously, Cristobal said that coming out of Miami. Dan Orlovsky broke down the fact that over the middle, he's confident throwing the ball. So a lot of these young quarterbacks scared to death to go in here. A lot of traffic in here. Go on the outside, there's only one person, hopefully. I can throw it out there. If I miss, it's not a pick. And I can just kind of throw it up and let my wide receiver do their thing. The timing routes across the middle, where if you miss by a foot, that thing's getting cribbed, either by a safety or a linebacker. Have to have enough touch to get it over somebody and then get it in between the linebacker and the safety. So that's a very difficult throw. The ones in the middle, let alone with your eyes not being able to see because you got 6'6" offensive linemen standing in front of you. So the middle of the field is sometimes people's biggest weakness. Now, there's some quarterbacks that are great in the middle of the field. Brock Purdy has been eating in the middle of the field since he got in there, which is why their offense and Debo was able to do the slant God type of shit. But there's some quarterbacks that do not do well in the middle. Dan said that Cam Ward over the middle is very good, and the ball comes out very strong. It's on time. It's in the right spot. He obviously has enough arm for the deep ball on the outside, the touch and the finesse. It's like Cam Ward might be the guy, and maybe it's because of the entire class not being great that he isn't being talked about as much, and maybe it's because Miami didn't go on a run. They lose to Syracuse last week of the season, kind of derail everything after the magic was behind them. But every time you hear anybody talk about this draft, it's like Cam Ward's going number 1. So congrats to him. Earned it, buddy.
That's awesome.
Incarnate Word to Washington State, to Miami, and now number 1 probable overall. Good for him.
I think a lot of it has to do with like when you get these big hype guys, it's guys that have been not known for years, but have been high draft picks for years. Like Cam went to Miami because I believe he put his name into the draft last year, but he didn't get the grade that he liked coming back. So he's like, screw it, I'll go to Miami, make some NIL. And then he has this unbelievable year down in Miami. So now I think it's like scouts, coaches, GMs, they're getting into this Miami tape, and now they're talking to people, and now they're like, oh, like he should have probably been up our boards a lot earlier than just this year.
Yeah, and I love, and I mention it a lot, I love the way him and Shador bicker. Like, I really enjoy that.
The shit talk.
Yeah, I enjoy it a lot. Now, Miami has a new quarterback.
He's going through a lot right now.
Yeah.
Alleged. We're not getting into it.
A lot of
We are
stuff.
not getting into this.
Yeah,
We are not
a lot of what? Huh?
Because people,
A lot of what?
people that are not on the internet are going to automatically get mad at us for talking about this. But this is a massive story.
Yeah, he got a couple cars stolen too. It's not just
Bingo, overnight.
Yep.
That's what we were talking about.
Hers were found, his were not.
Exactly.
That's a whole nother story.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot going on since Carson has got to Miami. A lot has happened. He's gotten paid a lot of money too. Hopefully, Cristobal and the boys are able to bring it back. Pivoting away from football, college football at least. Let's talk about college basketball. You know?
Hell yeah.
Let's talk about the time of the year that we are in right now. Let's talk about the special stuff that happens during these couple weeks that we don't really appreciate or see all year. It's time for some March Madness magic. Ooh! JMU was insane.
Bucket.
JMU was awesome.
Yeah, holy shit.
Yeah, I think we kind of forget.
That was seeds, bruh.
Yeah,
It was.
This particular video is not in March, but it was madness and it was magic. And we have some March Madness magic. Let's start in high school, shall we? Norris High School, to be exact. Barrett Bosinger. After just getting the ball thrown to him pretty much. Boom, let me have that. Thank you. 49-49. Semifinal Nebraska State tourney. Bucket from the other side of the court. Obviously, the boys are excited. Being on the bottom of that pile has to suck. But it is March Madness magic in the high school. Now let's go to some college stuff, shall we? Louisville, Stanford, ACC, 73-73. Buzzer beater by Chucky Hepburn from the elbow.
Boom.
That's the quarterfinal of the ACC tournament. The Cards advance on a last-second mid-range jumper from old Chucky Hepburn. Get it? Find it? Drop it. Let's move along. Let's have a night down in Louisville at 4th Street Live, I believe is what they call it. Now, let's go to the Mid-Eastern Conference tournament. NC Central gets a massive win over Delaware State. Isaac Parson, buzzer beater. The boys are moving on. What a win for NC Central. North Carolina Central. Get the baseline. Swoop-de-woo. Whoop-de-woo. Get the bucket. That's what we're talking about. Isaac Parson. Let's go to the SEC, shall we? Ole Miss with a coach that just wins ball games. Wins with a Sean Padula bucket. What a shot by Sean Padula. They didn't even think that that guy was going to make that shot from Arkansas. Now Ole Miss and Coach
Beard
moves along down there in the great state of Mississippi. SEC tournament in Nashville. Hopefully everybody can handle Broadway. There's been a lot of celebrating down there for good reason. Let's stay in the SEC tournament. Kentucky, Oklahoma. Wow. Otega Owe, who was at Oklahoma last year, gets the baseline and a layup to get a massive win in the second round of the SEC tournament. That's just in the last 2 days.
Yeah.
High school thing 2 days ago. That shit yesterday. This is all just from yesterday. Buzzer beaters, magical basketball taking place, and huge wins and storylines already developing. Congrats to college hoops.
Incredible.
Yeah.
It's only going to get better, too. Like some of the games yesterday, obviously Iowa, they did go down, but they put up 94 points. The entire thing is just incredible.
Yeah, I think college ball is about to be magical this March Madness.
Well, we talk about Duke and Auburn and Seth Greenberg said yesterday Florida too, but in terms of parity, it really does feel like we could see this could be one of those years where you never know. We could get a lot of chalk in the first round, or it could be one of those things where if you're going to bet all the underdogs, you might stand to actually make a lot of money. I don't think outside of maybe 2 to 3 teams, there's anyone who's really head and shoulders better than everyone else. We could see a lot of upsets.
Well, just like what happened in football, NIL can make some teams,
right?
Especially in basketball.
Oh, yeah.
If you invest some pieces, some money, you can change your entire program, change your entire franchise. And Greg Sankey put out a tweet yesterday about some graphs about how many SEC teams have made the tournament. It was 2, 4, I think 6 was the most that they've ever had. And then once COVID hits, it kind of changes. Now they're going to have 8 probably in this year, and then they're probably only going to grow up. And then all the responses to him are you guys are putting money into it. He's like, yeah, that's what everybody's doing.
Right.
SEC's investing in basketball. I think a lot of schools are, though, especially in the NIL. You get 2, 3 pieces, they get hot during March Madness. you can go on a real run here. It should be electrifying.
Yeah, last year we did the bet every underdog money line just blindly, and I believe after the first entire weekend you were up money. But wasn't it also last year where the Big Ten had a bunch of teams and then they all shit the bed? Like you talk about how the Big Ten's the best conference. No, but that's the SEC this year. Like we're talking about how the SEC's the best conference, but then when it gets to March, they might all shit the bed.
We'll see.
Because it's madness, baby. This is March.
It's magic, too, isn't it?
Yeah, it's incredible.
It is March Madness magic.
January.
How'd Iowa do last night in the Big Ten, Tony?
Well, they're out one of their best player, probably their second best player. He got hurt for the season, had to have season-ending surgery a couple weeks ago. So they gave him everything they got. Peyton Sanford, who is one of the greatest Hawks of all time, homegrown kid. Scored 30 last night. That's the thing with Iowa is they scored the second most points in Big Ten play this year. Unbelievable offense. They can't guard anybody. They don't play any defense, so they scored 94 points, but they gave up 106. And you're not going to win a whole lot of basketball games, especially college basketball games, giving up 106 points.
That's a lot. Illinois gets a massive win.
Yeah.
I mean, that is
another one of those
a team
teams
that Greenberg told us at the beginning of the season had a bunch of dudes. Dudes got hurt. Dudes got sick. Now they're all getting healthy. Still got the dudes.
Big, physical. They out-rebounded Iowa by about 30. So, again, tough when you're getting, just chewed up on the glass to be competitive.
I guess Zito just told me Iowa's coach got ejected. You guys get a little fired up last night?
He did. Fran's fiery. He's a fiery son of a bitch. He always has been. And then there's a lot of discourse going around that he's been at Iowa for like 15 years. They think that might have been his last game. So
has he ever won?
Well, a national championship?
He's
won a couple Big Ten tournaments, yeah.
Has he?
Yeah.
McGarza.
How they doing? How they doing the March Madness thing? Pretty good.
No, they typically choke in March. Just because that's
so Iowa football Iowa football and basketball just do they mirror each other or?
I don't think so. I mean, I think a lot of places would kill to have Iowa's success for being as small of a state it is
in basketball and in football.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, are they going to compete for national championships? Probably not, but every once in a while, every 10 years, you'll have a team that, they were a 2-seed a couple years ago, and again, they got beat by Oregon in the second round, but they're consistently good, but it is what it is, I mean, there's no pro team, so that's why, people live and die with them. I didn't really watch much of them this year because they weren't great, but I was hanging on for every second last night and would have loved to see them win.
Fran and Kirk just kind of running the sports over there, and then Lisa Bluter, she moves along. Her assistant becomes the head coach. How's the Iowa women's team?
Pretty solid. Again, I think after you lose Caitlin Clark, it's like a
different game.
Yeah, for sure. But they got a girl.
She's like the best player in the WNBA.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, I know Vegas, Asia
Wilson. Aja Wilson.
Aja Wilson. Asia or Aja?
Asia.
I don't know.
I think it's Asia.
Asia.
She's a great player. I'm not saying she's not a great player. She has a completely different skill set than Caitlin. Obviously, she's taller and everything like that. But in 5 years, Caitlin's going to be considered the best in the WNBA as well.
And people are already talking about what she did this offseason, putting on muscle and stuff so that she can actually handle how it's a little more physical. But
so it might be harder to win whenever you lose that particular player.
For sure. But they're going to make the tournament. They got a transfer from Villanova who's a great scorer. And her effect already, though, they're getting girls, top 5 girls in the nation from California who are wanting to come play at Iowa, which would have never happened before her.
All right, we'll obviously follow along with all the basketball.
Oh, yeah.
Especially the Johnnies.
Yeah, especially the Johnnies. And also, I mean, if we're talking about Iowa in March, Madness, coming up here in a little bit for the wrestling. That's
they need to do that when March Madness isn't happening. Mm-hmm. They need to figure out how to slide that thing right before March Madness, and maybe it is already, and I just missed a couple of the days, and they probably have to do it. But Madness, the college wrestling thing, worth a watch.
Should lead into Mania.
Maybe it should lead into Mania. I mean, it is electrifying. They packed that fucker out, it is. We're talking full entrances. Mm-hmm. We're talking about real. I mean, I think it was last year. Was it last year or 2 years ago?
Last year, I think, is when you first saw the.
Last year, I'm watching one of these March Madness games, one of these basketball games, or an entire window of March Madness games, all blowouts, which is the worst case scenario.
For sure.
Because it's the only thing on TV, and you know nothing about any of these teams. And then they're all blowouts. It's okay, this is kind of a tough. Then I saw Matt Madness on, and I went over there and clicked it. It was holy shit, Penn State's better than everybody. But also, this is awesome. More people need to watch this. Go ahead.
It does run basically lateral to the basketball tournament I just looked. But the Midwest Regional, which I believe is what, the Final Four? Elite Eight? Is here at Lucas Oil Stadium.
Okay. But if it's right in the middle of March Madness, that's going to be tough for anybody else to really pay attention
the 28th, 29th, and 30th of March, which I believe is Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
I know they run concurrently to basketball, too. It's a winter sport, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
They got to find a way to...
Even if they just did it early in the week.
Yeah,
like if
Monday,
it's
Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah, like that would be perfect because there's no March Madness then. And that would be so awesome just to be able to focus on that because it really is like a spectacle. And so few people know how great it is. And then once you are, like you were just mentioning, once you turn it on, it's like, holy shit, this is an incredible sport. It's similar to, West Virginia's rifle team going at it today.
Come on, national championship today down there in Kentucky.
Yeah.
West Virginia's in it. They put a tweet out and said, the stage is set. And just like Tone said whenever we saw the photo, West Virginia wouldn't mind a 30, 40 mile an hour winds.
Sure.
But the fact they're doing it inside, I guess we just got to kind of make it easier for everybody else. And West Virginia will certainly abide by the rules. And, we're talking snipers out here.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we're talking snipers out here. Good luck to everybody. Let's go to the NHL now, shall we? The NHL is magical for a lot of reasons. The sport is mesmerizing. They're flying around on blades on ice, like, 30, 40, 50 miles, whatever it is. With the way we're tracking humans running now, obviously you would just assume that it's quite an advancement of speed whenever they're on ice, especially with how they're like figure skate. They have the ability of figure skaters while also wearing full pads, dangling a puck with a wooden stick, and then there's a chance at any given moment they could just get absolutely annihilated, just demolished. And then they just pick themselves up and do it again. Never any bitching, never any complaining. The skill set required is obviously absurd that not a lot of people have. And we're about to get to playoff time, and it's the fastest, most electrifying thing that you could watch, the NHL playoffs. But the best thing about it is its culture. They still fight people over there. They still fight people over there. They still handle business with is that right? You think you can hit our guy like that? Well, why don't you go ahead and drop the gloves, bud? Why don't you go ahead and do it? And they do it, and it's encouraged by everybody. Coaches, players, fans, even refs. One of the biggest dogs in the history of the NHL's name is Tom Wilson. Okay, he has been a menace in the NHL for a long, long time. Listen to him and Stromer, who's not a fighter or a tough guy, have a moment, and then listen to the ref chirp in the middle of this entire thing, in the middle of an actual NHL game.
My guys take this foot out and I'm skating up ice.
I think it's a toe pick.
But I'm hot this year. Most goal scorers get those calls thrown.
Oh, come on. Tommy, if you want to go center ice, I've been waiting my whole career for one.
Oh, yeah.
I'd like to see that one. Yeah?
Oh, we got to do it.
No.
I'd like to see it right now, Ryan.
Hey, you got to put one hand behind your back.
Here's your chance.
Not that stupid.
That's a hilarious. That is just a hilarious give and take. And then how about the ref going, I'd fucking love it. Boys, I'd love to watch it. Hockey's culture is second to none, I believe, and the toughness is real. And the characters in the sport, we don't get to learn about them much because they very rarely do any media. Like, I think what Spit and Chicklets is doing is great for the sport and for the league and for everything. But the more clips that come out that it just showcase what they are and who they are as a sport, I think the better for the sport as a whole.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And like the amount of games, it's one of those sports where it's like, there's so many games, kind of like the NBA, where it starts to matter like right now. But some of the things they've done to make the game better, like the Winter Classic, I feel like has been one of those things. In the outdoor games, like at the Horseshoe, things like that are obviously grow the game. But it would be great if we could get more like players just talking, because it is such a team, culture. Take care of your own business, don't say anything type of environment. But then when you do get the mic'd ups and when you get the clips of behind the scenes about how much these guys care, like McDavid last year when the Oilers lost Game 7, there's that highlight of him in the locker room, like super emotional and everything, and seeing stuff like that behind the scenes is awesome, even though they hate to actually show
everything about it.
Yeah, we're great people.
Hockey hates everything about it.
Yeah.
Hockey is just such a did it for the lads, for the team, and we're trying really hard. We got to execute, and then like the most boring interview,
head down
every time.
Yeah,
whenever, especially the in between period stuff. Like, I appreciate the commentators and the analysts trying to get stuff. There's nothing ever coming.
No,
not one time. It's just like the right before kickoff interviews that the NFL was trying to do, but like I think Jameis gave something good. There's been a few like personalities that have delivered a little bit in that moment. In hockey, there's nothing coming out of any of those because they feel like they're a distraction to their team or they're like a me guy. And since they're like little tiny kids, literally waking up at 4 a.m. just skating the ice, are being told, this ain't about you. This is about everybody else. So I think that's a detriment to hockey, but also I think people just need to know that the people in hockey are fucking awesome. They are awesome dudes.
Yeah, every hockey player, the best comparison would be every hockey player is an offensive lineman, and none of them want to say anything. And when they do get asked questions, it's almost like an insult that they're getting asked a question about themselves and not the entire unit.
Yeah, Stromer, they're going, I've been waiting on my whole career for one. And I believe, Stromer's brother plays with Tom Wilson, and obviously I believe they played together in the past, and nobody that isn't a fighter is signing up to fight Tom Wilson. Just for you that don't know. Tom Wilson, I'm a Penguins fan. Have been Penguins fan
sure.
for a long time. I am. I hope they do.
What was that word?
I hope they do good. But at the time, I definitely was. And he was a problem, to Pittsburgh. But it's not just us. He's a problem fucking everybody he plays against, which is why I think the boys love him on the team. But I assume he is a hilarious human being. After watching that give and take right there, I assume when Tom Wilson is done, he's going to have a podcast or he's going to do shows, and the stories are going to be hilariously absurd. Nick, is that accurate with Tom Wilson?
Yeah, he's a guy who's built for it. And, you say this, he's got the face to match it. He's got that rugged handsomeness if you see pictures of him. So, he's definitely built for an after playing media career. And he's a guy who, not to throw this back to the Canada USA thing, but he didn't make that Team Canada. He probably will next year for the Olympics. And you might see a situation where you got the Chucks going against Tom Wilson on the international ice.
Well, we'll see how the national anthems are handled. At said event, sure. all of them.
Yeah, exactly.
That's because we got a new standard, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is Russia playing?
Well, the Olympic athletes from Russia.
Yeah,
I don't know. We say, you say, I say revolution. OAR in the Olympics in the past. But I think we need to look into every single competitor's country's political stuff, because that is now how national anthems are being judged at sporting events. Remember?
Oh, yeah. I hope Iraq doesn't have a team. Tell you that much.
I don't think they're playing hockey.
Okay.
I don't know if Iraq has a. I don't know if they have a winter Olympic team, but if they do, I hope we support the athletes, doing their thing, living their dreams. But I guess, that I'm not getting into it.
Not on a Friday.
Not on Friday.
Yeah,
I like to have a good weekend.
It's the reason we didn't do a couple segments today, because it's Friday.
I would like to just have a good weekend.
It's beautiful outside.
I would just like to be able to sleep and not have to feel like I need to respond with some context, which has become a very normal thing in the sports talk world for us. Not everybody else. It seems like a lot of other people say a lot of things that are
just kind of
much where not
very bad words.
Yeah, very.
Yeah.
Very.
Like, holy shit.
And it just keeps on moving. It's like, okay, all right, yeah, we get it. Feels targeted. Nonetheless, Evan Ingram, former tight end for the Jacksonville Jaguars, he came out and said, I appreciated my time in Jacksonville, but they just let a dog off the leash. He was excited to get to somewhere new. And Sean Payton of the Denver Broncos was excited to get a player in his camp that is a joker position that he can do everything with. He saw that with Evan Ingram, and the only reason why we know that is because Evan Ingram announced his signing to the Denver Broncos as the Joker, hanging out of a police car from a dark night. So whenever you think about this Sean Payton-led Denver Broncos, they were much better than anybody could have imagined. Okay, much better than anybody could imagine with the amount of dead cap that they had. Not just Russell Wilson, everything else they had going on. With what the Denver Broncos had been over the past few years, just a mess. They got a rookie quarterback in Bo Nix. He was good at the beginning of the year, got great at the end of the year. Sean Payton's culture is seemingly settling in, and now he's got a dog in somebody that he's viewing as a joker, just like he was with Taysom Hill whenever he was down there in New Orleans, and the way he operated his offense. It's like, what are the Broncos? Are the Broncos going to be real? They're in a tough division. But I think the Broncos are on a green arrow up, and Sean Payton only wins. I think that's all I've ever really known him to do.
Yeah, so obviously everything was a down year last year in Jacksonville, but 2 seasons ago, he had 114 catches for the Jaguars, which is just absurd. He is a dynamic tight end, but you pair him with Courtland Sutton, and then in Mims and Vele, they have two really good young wide receivers. They need to probably get a running back. But with Sean Payton and Bo Nix, they're only going to go up. They're only going to get better. So, yeah, the Broncos are going to be a problem potentially.
Let's stay in the AFC West. The Chiefs have signed Gardner Minshew.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Congratulations to Gardner Minshew getting a one-year deal with the Kansas City Chiefs. We watched Gardner 2 years ago here in Indianapolis just do it. Okay. Went to the Pro Bowl inevitably. Now, he was like fourth alternate or something like that, fifth alternate, whatever the case. He was one play away from leading the Indianapolis Colts to an AFC South championship. That is real. That is not a makeup at all. Gardner Minshew, under Shane Steichen's leadership in offense, was great for us. He then signs like a $30 million deal with the Raiders. It does not work out. They are still looking for a quarterback. Andy Reid says, let's get you over here. We know you got a big brain. We know you're a good moxie guy. We know you're a good energy guy. Come on over. He's not the only one. Zip on the ball. Zappy also signed a one-year deal with the Kansas City Chiefs. There's competition brewing for that QB2 spot in Kansas City behind Patrick Mahomes. DK Metcalf will be wearing number 4 for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He addressed that in the press conference. You know, hey, GP's been here longer than I have been, obviously. He has created a legacy with the number 14. I will wear 4. He looked giddy to be a Pittsburgh Steeler, Tone.
Dude, it was awesome. He was smiling the whole time. He was talking positively the whole time. Obviously, he just got engaged 2 days ago, so he's in a good mood. You got paid $30 million in a good mood. Got number 4, looks great in a good mood. Vibes are high.
Yeah, that looked like a different DK than I have ever seen. You know, and maybe we don't pay attention enough. He was happy, jovial, super pumped to be a Pittsburgh Steeler.
It was awesome.
And I think Pittsburgh people are excited for it as well. Sam Darnold spoke to the media. He chit-chatted about the last 2 games now that he's joined the Seattle Seahawks. Said he's going to treat it as a learning lesson. John Schneider, general manager of the Seattle Seahawks, came out and said, we made an offer, very good offer to Geno, and it felt like that was going to be over. So a lot of people talking right now about the decisions being made. And Sean McVay and Andrew Whitworth are moving weight at 6 a.m. at the Village that we just learned about from Andrew Whitworth. Have this safety squat rack. This is at 6 a.m. they're doing this. This is Whitworth. Obviously, he's got probably a cardio weight belt on, if I had to guess. So many plates. Obviously, he said he's staying in shape as if it was still football season, working out every morning at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. And the guy's dumper is still real big.
Yeah.
You know, whenever you're judging offensive lineman, defensive lineman, you're looking for some explosion. How do you do it? A lot of people say, like, well, what's the... They got
How big's his ass?
You got a big ass?
Shit, caboose.
Whitworth's ass is obviously gigantic. I literally sent him a text immediately. Actually, I called him immediately after seeing this video, and I'm like, yo, I need to be doing whatever you're doing because you still got all the explosion. It is very evident with how you're doing it. He's not the only one. McVay's moving weight in here as well. McVay's getting under the bar, squatting. Not as many weights as Andrew Whitworth, but still a shit ton.
Exploded.
For a coach in the NFL at 6 a.m. at the Village. The boys are getting after it. Ryan Sorensen, I do believe, is the trainer in there. So I love seeing it. Lane Johnson also posted some massive squatting video yesterday with him using a safety rack as well. It feels like this is the thing. And I have not gotten under a squat bar since I've been forced to do it. Back when I was playing, because I didn't want to put the bar on my spine. I just don't. I know it's. Sorry, I'm not as tough as everybody else. This thing seems like the thing.
Yeah.
So we got one of those on the way. Don't you worry about it.
Okay.
Yeah, I see everybody doing it. It's like you guys are more jacked than I am. You got to be doing it for a reason. Let's go ahead and check it out. Love the guys getting after it. Love the team mindset, and I love guys sticking with it. What's that?
I would say you're gonna get some no bull lifting shoes too.
I do love the no bulls.
That's no bull, baby.
I'll get that cardio weight belt. All right, hour 1 wrapping up here on this Feel Good Friday, March 14th, 2025. Hour 2 will be on the other side. Once again, thank you all so much, whoever bought big night tickets. It's going to be a blast on April 9th. Can't wait to see you in Pittsburgh. Who will the quarterback be for the Steelers by then?
Ooh.
Maybe we find out. Maybe we don't. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. We'll see you on the other side.
Hi, how's it going? My name is Pat McAfee. Used to hold balls for Adam Vinatieri. Now I'm in his home state. College game day is absolutely electric. In Brookings,
College game day has made the voyage to Brookings, South Dakota to experience a game with the best fans in college football. I unfortunately cannot attend because I have a game this Sunday, so I sent a man I trust to make my picks. A man who is my holder for almost a decade. Please be nice to him. Welcome this week's celebrity guest picker, Pat McAfee.
Go big, go blue, go Jacks.
Hosting Auburn
Yes, everybody saw this. The best fake punt in the world. What do you think, Pat?
I absolutely loved it all the way up until execution time. That is not one we like to show in the brand headquarters and punting and kicking world.
Oh, dance off. Oh, let's get weird. Yes. Duck that, huh?
Bang! Right off the top of the dome. That makes it a lot easier when you got a dummy standing right in front of you like that.
Running. Oh! High Daniel Russo!
Wax on! Wax off! Knee to the face!
Yes! Serious.
Go!
Yes.
Go! Yes!
These teams stink. With that 15, they celebrate by doing shotguns. And I know they figured it out. I'm going with the University of Virginia Cavaliers. That was great. Whoa! I will never, ever in the history of my life cut against that ball. Oklahoma State is the way here. Not so fast again.
But I'm going with Trey.
Please excuse my dumb friend Kirk. Look at this crowd. They've been out here since 4 a.m. College game day comes to town. They lose their mind. The population of this state is about 800,000. And when the Jackrabbits take the field, they're alongside all 800,000 South Dakotans. The Dakota marker was in Fargo for far too long. Today, 5 o'clock local time, the Dakota marker is back in beautiful Brookings, South Dakota. Terry School. They might be the Jackrabbits, but they're the GOATs today. Ladies and gentlemen, South Dakota State with the win.
Give me that place in.
No, don't do that. No. Leave.
Kofi has been.
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey.
What?
Let's go.
This show stinks. And the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pink.
Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Feel Good Friday, March 14th, 2025. Hour 2 of the program starts now.
Sports
are fantastic. We're incredibly lucky that we get to talk about them every single day. We is not just I, obviously, it's also the Toxic Table at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. Sweet glasses.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I got a new pair of glasses, a new prescription. I'm sick and fucking tired of squinting at that TV every single day and then just having the worst headache ever going home. So I said, you know what? I got my glasses. I'm going to wear them.
I think they look good.
Thank you.
I like them.
Thank you.
Those are good glasses.
I had glasses on the other day. I don't believe you were here. It was on Monday. I wore glasses because I had a little thing going on with my eye.
Sure.
And I'm like, well, I don't want that to be obviously a distraction for what I'm talking. So I put these glasses on, the blue light glasses, you know. And I feel like I was really taking care of myself and also covering up something that was happening. Then I woke up the next day, just stopped doing it. So I was like, all right, yeah, we're not wearing glasses anymore. And I'm just going to act like it didn't happen, you know. Why was my eye doing that for that long? Don't know. But also not even going to care about it. I think you look good. I think glasses are a good look. I think it's a good. I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, I've worn them quite a bit in the past, and then I kind of just my prescription was so old. I was like, well, I'm not going to wear these because they're basically like blue light glasses. But then they just give me a really bad headache. So I said, you know what, I'm going to go to the optometrist. And sure enough, you know, if you have bad eyes, you can't wait 15 years to go get your eyes checked again. You know, because they will get worse on you.
So your eyes got worse. Yeah,
they did. They did. But no, got a new prescription. And
can we see the screen?
Oh yeah. You kidding me? I mean,
what a day!
Can actually read what's going on up there. Don't have to.
That's a good day. Yeah, let's put up a graphic. Let's put up the.
That's what the eye dog.
Can we put up the? I think it was the Big 12 basketball tournament graphic.
Oh, that one.
I deleted that, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
That was a terrible graphic.
Big 12, really, that was good. Whoever in there was like, you know what? This is a good idea. We'll put out a white graphic with white boxes on top of it with maybe even white font. I mean, here it is. Oh, this is not the same one. This is a random. This is just an Excel spreadsheet that was created to probably make fun of the Big 12 one. You can read that though, right?
For the most part, I mean, that's still very small, very small. But
you can't see the bottom row at the eye doctor's test right now?
Oh, no, I mean, I can, but it's still, you got Texas Tech up there.
There you
go.
I
can
Who's
make
Texas
it out.
Tech playing?
Texas Tech is playing Arizona.
Oh, what is the rank of Arizona?
Oh man, I can't even.
I can't. I couldn't tell you. But
if you had to guess, what would it be?
Well, I'm guessing Texas Tech is near the top. I'd say Arizona's maybe like a 7 seed.
Okay, Arizona's a 3 seed.
Okay.
Texas Tech is a 7. No, sorry, Texas Tech is a 2.
Yep.
So 2s look like 7s, and 3s look like 8s. Okay. Especially if you're from far away.
Sure. But let me just do like that is I can't see anything.
That's just a white screen.
Yeah, pretty much, just with like a little bit of like smears on there. When I go like this, I can at least. I mean, like the bottom line right now, the bottom bar, like that. You can. I can see it. Because it's bold. But when I can read everything.
God, welcome to a whole new world.
It really is. Driving is where it really
Nice.
Being able to see.
Well,
yeah, you and Foxy are a liability, brother.
I don't think my eyes are as bad as Foxy's, but it's when you get a new prescription, you put them on. It's like, Jesus Christ, I probably should have been driving with glasses for a while. not great.
So this is a message to everybody. If you can't see shit, they make things that make you to be able to see things.
Crazy.
And it's much better when you can see stuff. I have some friends that have like, I'm not wearing glasses. I'm like, glasses aren't that bad of a look. And also, speaking of looking, you're going to be able to see stuff. That's probably a good life you can have. I'm not going to become a glasses guy. I'm like, well, then do contacts. I'm not dealing with those every single day. It's like, you can't see anything.
Yeah.
Like, what are you can easily get this fixed. As somebody that was fucking blind for a long time and had contacts that I didn't want to change, and I just left in my eyes for years and years and years. Once you can see things, actually, because even those contacts, to your point, they were way behind.
Yeah.
So I couldn't really see much. And I used to walk into physicals where they would have the eye test. The Colts would have like an eye test every year. Obviously, I'm walking by the thing and I'm reading that bottom line and I'm memorizing the letters, and then I'm sitting down and just poof, battling off. All right, good.
This guy's eyes are great.
Sounds good.
Wow.
And then you're just rolling along. Don't have to do that. You can actually see the world, and it's a beautiful one if you're able to get it. So, Foxy.
I go to the eye doctor every single year.
And they say what? You should not be in public with how bad your fucking eyes are?
They give me contacts, they give me glasses, and send me on my way. It makes no sense. That's why I'm going to get the LASIK done. I would have absolutely no chance to reading that screen. I think about you every single day when I pop stuff up, and I'm like, how is he reading this?
So I got the LASIK. LASIK is I felt like I became a superhero overnight. I felt like I have 2 good eyes now. I can actually see everything.
Yeah.
They say that I'm going to have to redo it at some point because I got it done rather young.
Right.
But yeah, it is cool to be able to see stuff. That's what I'm saying, though.
It's on the way. It's on the way.
Wait, I just learned that you do get contacts and glasses, though, so you still can't see with your contacts and glasses at night?
Contacts are tough because lights.
It's the rays. The rays of the light are brutal. It has a name for it. I always forget what it is, though.
Stigmatism, right?
Say this was a light. Say this was a light. What's it called?
Stigmatism?
Maybe. I don't know. That doesn't sound like
that.
I believe that is.
That's what it is.
Your eyes are shaped like footballs instead of round.
Okay. Shout out to football, by the way. I'm happy we did that. But say this is the light, okay? This is what you see. When you have contacts, that light is like this big.
I can do that if I squint my eyes and make it happen.
Yeah, so that's what it is all the time. So if there's lights next to each other, what's that? That's just a big fucking blob. That's why the indoor facility that I went to, the Colts, they have lights all over the ceiling. I had never been able to see the ceiling because it was just all lights over on top of each other. And then whenever I got the LASIK done, I'm like, wow, this is really, wow. It's like taking a jump from the box televisions to 1080, not even 8K or 4K or whatever the case is. So I'm happy you're doing that. I think it's a good look, Ty.
I appreciate it.
And this is a message to everybody. You're not too cool for glasses.
No.
Life is much better whenever you can see shit.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't give 2 shits what people think.
Well, I think you look cool right now.
Well, and I think
too.
I think I kind of am a glasses guy. I mean, I started wearing them when I was in 7th grade. So if you don't care then, you sure as shit shouldn't care when you're 34 years old. So, I mean, it's, hey, like you said, it's better off to be able to see things and kind of be able to experience the world around you. Yeah, than be worried about how other people think you look with glasses on.
Here's Zito found a picture. This is kind of what lights do.
Yes.
That is kind of what lights do whenever you have contacts. That is like what a contacts are.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about whenever you're just blind, because I just always had contacts in my face whenever, from what I remember. But that is literally what it is. And that can carry too. That can drag too.
Yeah, and so when it's rainy and it's wet out, it's reflecting on everything. Life.
So yeah, that's what contacts are. Yeah. If you have bad eyes. I don't know about like average eyes with contacts.
They're good.
But like bad eyes with contacts, it's fucking, that is life right there.
Yeah, that's what I have. I have average eyes with contacts, and it's not that bad. I mean, it sucks. Like, it becomes like that if you wear them. Like, say I sleep in them and I don't wake up and change them. I'm just like, screw it. Let's just roll, and we'll see how the day goes. By the time the night comes, then it's just like terrible. Yeah, and typically those day goes by pretty terribly. If we're being honest.
I don't know.
If we're being honest.
You really forced that one in.
Yeah, well, the first one I stuck by, and I need to get another. But it is.
You got greedy.
I did, but that's a green jacket. That's just gonna happen when you're wearing a jacket like this, and maybe you look like. No, but it's nice having contacts. It's much better life.
Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a guy who has had Hawkeye since he was a child.
That's right.
Been able to see everything. What a gifted man this man is. He's a college football national champion, a Super Bowl champion, Ryder Cup winner, father of 10. Ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hawk.
Yeah, Hawk.
Mazel, AJ Mazel. Shalom. How are you? You've always had 20/10 eyes, perfect vision?
Yeah, I've been lucky. My eyes have been good. My left eye is my non-dominant eye. That one, it's always been like pretty apparent. My right eye is better, but my left eye is still legit, so I don't have any issues.
I was walking around 7th, 8th grade, I think, maybe even 9th grade, just like this, everywhere.
Yep.
Teachers are like, you should get glasses or contacts. I don't have time. Okay? I'm A-okay. And then you get contacts. Then you get contacts and you like see stuff, you're like, yeah. It's nice that I don't have to have my face scrunched up like this to see everything. That is a nice little thing, though. Scrunch your eyes a little bit.
It's a nice
little zoom in.
Yeah, it is.
Shout out to the human body being able to do that. AJ, what's Aaron doing, bro? I'm sick of it.
Come on, man.
What's going on? I don't know. Like, what's the deadline? Is he going to wait till the big night out and he's going to be a big surprise and say, hey, I'm coming home, guys. Here I am. He comes out like in a jersey.
In Pittsburgh? Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Could you imagine that? April 9th. How many days?
We've got a way to go. Ways to go.
How many days? How many days is that until April 9th? Steelers would be okay with that, right? Just wait until April 9th, maybe?
Shockingly, the fan base would.
What's that?
I saw a poll. Now, listen, if you obviously NFL fans are going to think this is wild, okay? Pittsburgh fans are super, super happy to have Mason back and potentially to have Mason as a starting quarterback. I saw a poll this morning. Who do you want as your starting quarterback? It had Mason and Aaron and Russ and someone else. Mason was like 60%. Raj was like 25%, something like that. So, yeah, it's wild.
Isn't it amazing, like, how you can shape, like, how people feel about something? Like, legitimately, now, granted, it has been reported that the Steelers are waiting on Aaron Rodgers. Then it was reported he's looking for $90 million. Then it was reported like, yeah, basically he's just holding people hostage right now. Like whenever you just throw, throw those things in there at some fan base, it's like, I don't want to deal with this guy. And it's like easy to think like that because it's kind of true, kind of is happening if you look at it that way. But like not even a thought of like, hey, this guy maybe has a lot going, like, this is a pretty big decision in this entire thing. He has to weigh a lot of different options at this moment, including retirement. Have we ruled out, AJ, has there been a ruling out of retirement yet in your conversations with him?
No, I guess there has not. Like, we've never officially ruled it out, but that would definitely surprise me. But yeah, nothing would shock me. Nothing would be shocking. But that is something that we don't talk about, right? Like, is anyone saying, like, do we know if he's going to come back and play?
No, the only conversation is this son of a bitch won't answer which team he wants to play for. It's like, I have not talked to him. I don't know how much AJ has talked to him. But the last time we talked to him, he's like, there's a lot of things that have to be decided here because he is, and the last 2 years have not been fun. A lot of people think, like, he just, enjoyed seeing the Jets fail. Like, that is not an accurate depiction of how he views that at all. He wanted to go back because of how shitty it was, no matter what the situation was. And there's going to be some people that will never believe that because of how they feel about Aaron Rodgers because, he was immunized for a little bit and everything of that nature. But it's like, I think he's got a lot of shit that he's weighing on him right now. And you can tell that in the picture whenever he's waltzing around the beach. I saw some guy in my comments whenever we posted this reel.
Can't wait.
And he said, this is a staged photo. It's like, okay, you think this is what Aaron would stage a photo? But he actually believes that guy actually believes that is the case. And it's like, it's amazing how you can shape your opinion about somebody if enough shit is said and you read it and don't even look into it. And it's like, some of it's true, based in truth. But the way it has been kind of like, this guy's an asshole kind of angle on it has set up for all these things that are happening around the league right now.
To be honest, I think the one team that Aaron is not, he's not holding any team hostage, but the least hostage would be the Pittsburgh Steelers because, they signed Mason Rudolph. Russell Wilson is not coming back. Okay, you cannot walk back into the locker room after they are waiting for Aaron's answer. They signed Mason Rudolph. Like, Russ can't walk into that locker room, I don't think, personally. I think he's either going to the Browns or Giants, whatever. They're not going to sign Joe Flacco to play over Mason or whatever. So I think the Steelers organization is fine waiting on Aaron at this point, to be honest.
Our source says have told us that Aaron walks the beach at sunset every night. It's part of the reason why he has that house. California, the sun rises in the east, it sets in the west. That is the last place that the sun is seen in the United States of America over there. And also our source says every night is a thinking session about what life is supposed to be or whatever.
That's all the source said?
Yeah, that's all the source said.
Son of a bitch.
Tony.
Come on,
Tony.
Tony, I thought you just said it was okay.
You said you're going to be patient, Tony. No worries. No rush.
Real quick, let him know. I've been sending a lot of messages, okay? This has been a one-way street here. I've been sending a lot of messages because a lot of things are being said that I don't think he knows. I don't think he has any idea.
I don't think he cares that much.
Agreed. That's kind of how he is, but I don't think he has any idea about some of the things that are being said. I don't think he knows that like Pittsburgh people now are at the point where like we don't fucking want him. Like if you don't want to be there, so
that's not what they're saying. If Aaron's watching, that's not what they're saying. They want him to
definitely not watching because he would have known this through the entirety. So I like send a message like, "Yo, this is what's being said. This is what's being reported, just so you know like what's going on." Never get a response, but I'm just hopefully that cracked into his world so he understands that this is kind of happening. And then I sent him the reel of the beach walk thing, and then that was the response. There, that was the response. I do that every single night, so this is kind of
part of a lot more people taking pictures than tonight, I guess. Is what
Aaron, I think you should probably take a week off. Stay on the patio, bro.
Different route, maybe.
Walk the shores of the Mon or the Allegheny tonight.
And with where he lives, the lens seemingly
got to be such a big lens. Has to.
Yeah, but somebody, this guy, I don't know who he was. I should look into it. I should find his name. He has like 60,000 followers. Seems to be legit.
Oh, the guy who posted this?
Yeah,
took the picture?
No, who put the comment that he did this on purpose. Like this was a staged photo. I've never been...
For what reason? What would it do?
I have no idea. Like, I don't know why Aaron would want that to be the stage photo.
If he's out there with if he's out there and he has a, bench press out there and he's benching and throwing a football and squatting, then I would say, yeah, this is fake.
But I think people just think that about Aaron immediately. And if you're told enough things about a guy, I assume inevitably it is easy to fall into that conversation.
Yeah, that's what he has to do now. To AJ's point, he needs to put out a bench. He needs to bring a football. He needs to get a tire and hang it from a tree, and he needs to just start throwing footballs through it all night tonight till the sun sets. Because could you imagine the photos of him in the dark doing this type of stuff?
I want a helmet on, too.
Yeah, shoulder pads.
I want a helmet on.
Shit, put the pants on.
Just no shoes.
Yeah,
barefoot.
No shoes. Bingo.
Full pads.
Doing that on the beach.
He puts one of his old Packers helmets on. Yeah. The whole world will be like, wait a minute.
He's going back.
Is he going to be a backup? Is he going to be a backup?
Throws it into the ocean, swims out there in his pads, gets the ball. Comes back.
He should maybe tape like Steelers logo on one side, Vikings logo on the other side, Giants logo on the back, something right off retirement right on the forehead, and then like throw the ball up, see which way it bounces each time.
Oh my gosh! Or 4 different helmets, and he sees it if he makes it in any of the helmets.
Oh, this one matters. Garbage cans, garbage cans, logos on garbage can. Trying to put it in garbage can.
Didn't go in the Steelers one.
Well, go ahead, knock that one out. He walks down with his wired in, knocks over the bucket, walks all the way back.
Universe is trying to eyes closed while he's throwing it, so it's just universe balls over and over and over.
Blood moon balls, even better. Bloody ball.
Yeah.
Just throwing that type of thing. That's what he needs to do. All right, I'll send it.
Boom.
So
Send that, yep.
Send him that.
Right.
Tell him to jump. What if he jumped in there? Like, it'd be some good pictures if he jumped in the ocean. He's swimming full pads. Next thing you know, he's holding 2 fins. He's riding dolphins throughout the wild ocean. Not even the trained dolphin.
Well, that's what happens if he doesn't make any of them.
You need to go out there in full pads and start spinning it into trash cans.
Yep.
Into trash cans.
Maybe some flaming loops, some big old circles that are on fire. Make it sweet.
Oh yeah, you're right. We want smoke
and team logos
and pyro. Okay.
That's actually not a bad idea. Is like do it like the Pope. He could just do black smoke every day from his house, and then when he
Purple
makes
smoke,
exactly when he makes
blue
a decision,
smoke,
boom, you get yellow smoke for the Steelers.
What if he does? And this will be the last time we hypothesize about what he should be doing at sunset on the beach that he lives a house. Yep. I'm sure this will be the last time we talk about it. He should come out in a full Pittsburgh Steelers uniform. Do a throwing session. See how he does.
Sure.
Next night, come out full Giants uniform. Throwing session. See how he does. Then put the Vikings one on. See how, and then let that be the judge. Are you your best you in those colors? He can find out on the beach tonight at sunset.
And then the retirement one, he can just come out like butt naked with like a paintbrush and something and draw something. And then if it's like a great painting,
No,
it's
he'll wear one of those gis. The gi thing.
Oh, he can wear his jersey
Like he's
swapped
doing jujitsu?
Jordan Poyer ayahuasca jersey, and he
The
can wear that
t-shirt
one.
thing.
Yeah, he can wear that one out.
And we need.
Oh, headband. The necklace. You got the necklace over.
Yeah,
I think
the
it might
vibes, the vibes
be.
necklace.
I think it might be for the brand helmet in the corner. But yeah, that.
Yes, it is actually. Good eye.
Now that would be something that would play.
Connor wears it on the weekends and puts it back.
Yeah, that's the reason I knew it was over there. Sorry.
There are the tassels.
Yeah, he comes out like this with a headband on, hair, maybe an acoustic.
Sure.
That entire thing. Yeah, maybe that's the play.
Sage burning.
All right, just let us know what you're doing at sunset tonight, bub, or tomorrow night.
We'll see it on the photos.
Yeah, we'll see it from the creepy paparazzi that you're setting up, bub. That's what people are believing.
Weirdo.
Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a senior insider for ESPN for the NBA, friend of the program, going to break it all down for us. Ladies and gentlemen, Sham Charania.
Yeah, Sham.
Pat, the boys, congrats on the sell-out, by the way. Is that how you say it? Sell-out?
Yeah, you're close. You're close. I mean, you forced it a little bit, but I appreciate your attempt at that. I really do. You sent me a photo the other day of a 5-year anniversary. Was that the first time you were on a program?
That was March 12th. I think that was the day after the Rudy Gobert positive test for COVID, and his whole incident, and the world shutting down, the leagues shutting down at that point, suspending. So that started, a good so far 5-year run, great relationship here. So, I appreciate you guys.
Now, we're very lucky and thankful for you, buddy. You've been our NBA guy. And then obviously you getting the senior insider gig at ESPN. We've been nothing short of proud of you. Now, with that being said, let's start talking a little bit of ball. From me, I got one question alone. Zion Williamson, triple-double the other night. He has 22 assists. Guy had 22 assists. Whenever he's playing, he's a triple-double machine. The conversation has always been, will the Pelicans let him play tonight? Is he in better shape now? Is he more healthy now? Why is he on the court? And when can we get him to another team to do this whenever it matters in the playoffs?
He's had 2 triple doubles in the last couple of weeks. We know when Zion Williamson's on the floor and when he's healthy, all you get from him is elite play. And the last few weeks, he's averaged 24 points, Pat, in 28 minutes. So you're talking about a point a minute. And so for him, I think you're going into this offseason, it's going to be a big one. I think the Pelicans, they have to sit down. They have to figure out what is the path forward here. What is this franchise looking into? What's the level of commitment? And Pat, I agree. Like there have been points where they have to let him go and let him play, but it goes both ways, right? He got suspended a little while ago for being late to a team plane. It was a pattern of tardiness that he had. For Zion Williamson, the next step for him is showing that commitment, showing that devotion, continuing to grow as a professional. And that's a part of that is being on time all of the time. Because listen, one thing we know.
Oh, really?
Everyone in the NBA knows this. A devoted, committed, healthy Zion Williamson is a problem for the NBA, for every team in the league. And he hasn't gotten to that point, clearly, from a health perspective. He's been hurt at different points in the year, and that's unfortunate for basketball fans and everyone.
Yeah, I agree. And hopefully, Zion will lock in. You talk about being on time. Okay, so now we're hearing some more stuff. These are like more pieces of information that we didn't necessarily have for a long time, because all we had known is that the Pelicans just don't want to play him because they think he's going to get hurt. So they're trying to conserve him. It's like, well, how long are we just going to conserve a guy that says he can play, and then inevitably is a career just going to be wasted conserving a guy? Because he has been playing like this since we've seen him on the internet.
Unreal. And look at him. I haven't seen him look this good since his rookie year / his Duke year. Like, I'm watching these he hasn't been doing this since his rookie season in the NBA. The way he looks too, and he's definitely hovering around like sub 280. He's listed at 284 pounds. I can say he's lower than that now.
Let's go.
And he is physically. I think the Pelicans are as thrilled with him as they've ever been. But again, Pat, you guys know it from a professional athlete perspective. Greatness and that superstardom level, that elite, all NBA, all world level of play, that comes with commitment, that comes with devotion.
Yes.
And clearly, from a health perspective, he's had some bad luck, the hamstring over and over again. But part of that is preparation too. And if he can put all of that together, and yeah, he was suspended. This is public information. He was suspended. I broke it. He was suspended. He was late to a team flight. I want to say a month and a half, 2 months ago-ish. And he was suspended a game. And that was the first time the Pelicans reprimanded him for tardiness. And that goes on throughout the NBA, but it was eye-opening to see. And he needs to be on time. He has to be committed. He has to be devoted. All that comes into play. Because if he can get there, Pat, we're looking at a player that has the chance to be a top 3 to 5 player in the NBA.
Come to Indiana Pacers, too. We're ready and excited for you here. You'll love it.
He'll be on time in Indy. He might end up being on time to everything in Indy.
Yeah. Whoa. Listen, Indy's a good city, too. There's a lot of good people, a lot of good times. And Naruto, I think, is the name of the tattoo he got around his belly. He could do this out here in Indiana, no problem at all. AJ has a question for you, Shams.
Shams, what's going on with tanking in the NBA right now? I know Utah got fined $100K or something because Markkanen, they're trying to hide him and say he's not healthy. Like, I know some other teams, they're sniffing around like they may be doing similar things. Is this a problem, and how are they going to fix all this?
Yeah, the NBA is keeping a very close eye on this. Lauri Markkanen was being sat a few games. The league determined as a star player, there's a player participation policy. And when there's a star player that's healthy enough to play, that their doctors deem, and the team withholds them, you get fined $100,000. It goes up in escalation as far as a fine with every game and every potential situation. So if the Jazz get hit again with a fine, you're looking at $250,000, and it keeps going up and up and up. The Mavericks were fined a couple of years ago for, I think it was $500,000, $700,000, almost $1 million, for essentially openly. I don't know if tanking is the right word. I don't know if people would be happy if I use that. But openly,
are they going to get that today? Are they going to get that this year?
Draft pick. The Mavericks? No, I don't think the Mavericks.
Everybody would just say, "Listen, shitty moves doesn't mean you're trying to lose." Like this guy thought. Guy thought he was making a team better. Actually,
everyone is legitimately so hurt in Dallas right now. You have Anthony Davis, Derek Lively II, Daniel Gafford. They've had PJ Washington, Kyrie Irving, torn ACL. He's going to be out at points into next year. So, yeah, I don't know about the basketball. The basketball guys, they might be looking at Dallas in a few different ways. But I will say, going back to your question, though, AJ, the NBA is looking at a couple other teams. I'm told the Philadelphia 76ers are another team the NBA has started an investigation on and looked into, just based on you've had Tyrese Maxey this time. We know Paul George has missed time, but I think with Philadelphia, it looks a little bit more legitimate, maybe, because you think about Tyrese Maxey, he's been banged up all year, and Paul George, he's been playing the 5 games before the All-Star break in February, guys. I'm told Paul George was playing with pain-killing injections. He had to get injected for essentially for pain-killing for 5 straight games just to play. He's with groin injuries, knee injury, a finger tendon injury, and so Paul George, I'm told he's going to visit with doctors in the coming days and potentially need a procedure, which obviously would then sideline him, likely for the rest of the season. So, and Joel Embiid's already shut down. We know how that went. So, they've looked into Philadelphia a little bit and seen, are they potentially, they're also in a position. They've got a top 6 protected pick that could go to Oklahoma City if they don't keep it. So, this is something that the NBA is definitely keeping an eye on.
I appreciate the NBA looking into this stuff because that became a lot of the conversation at the end of every NBA season is like this team is openly trying to lose so that they can gain maybe, 4% chance in the lottery to get a better pick. It was like not a guarantee.
That 4% could go a long way, though. That 4% could go a long way.
I agree. I say that at the blackjack table every time and the craps table and all that. But that was like literally what teams were doing. And then we get to the draft lottery and the team wouldn't. They get like the 4th overall pick or something like that instead of the 1st overall pick. And it's like, okay, so you just pissed off all your fans and put out shit product for the last half of the season pretty much, and it didn't work out for you. It felt like that was kind of becoming an NBA routine conversation that we were having. When did they decide to start cracking down on this? You might have said it in your answer, and I might have missed it there. But did Adam Silver say, this can't be what our league's known for, and how did it kind of come about?
Yeah, Adam Silver, the NBA, the Board of Governors, NBA teams, GMs, like they all came up with a strategy. And the player participation policy in particular for star players, for players resting, things of that sort, it's a wide range of things that fall into that policy. And that has allowed, for the Sixers in particular, their season started with an investigation, Pat. Like they had an investigation at the start of the year around the health and the player participation policy of Joel Embiid. And what the league found is there was no violation. He had a legitimate knee injury. Well, the violation is the team saying publicly that he's fine, that there's nothing going on with him. And so if you are saying that publicly, but if the league, their doctors determine this player is dealing with an injury, so it goes a bunch of different ways, and it gives the league a lot of latitude to look into these teams and players and who's openly sitting a guy that could be healthy and not.
I'm going to need 2 doctors saying this guy's hurt. I'm busting it. So this guy's the highest paid guy, the best guy, and he's not playing? Who's making that decision? Well, we all talked. I'm going to need 2 doctors. Need him in an x-ray. Get him in an x-ray.
Get him out.
And then they show it back. Pow! Guy's got a hairline fracture in his knee. All right, we were wrong. Okay. No penalty, and then just keep it moving. That's how it's going. Shout out to the NBA trying to crack down on that. Going to need to see the x-rays. Going to need to see the scans right now. We aren't doing that. I appreciate that they're trying to, fix or correct maybe some narratives that are about their league. But if you talk to Tyrese played through like a strained groin for a while. Paul George playing 5 games while getting shot up with vitamin T. Is that Toradol that they were using there? Did you know?
I can't confirm what it was, but Paul George needed 5 consecutive games of painkilling injections just to play. And that's what goes to show the Sixers,
a little bit stronger.
From an injury perspective, they have been so beat up from Joel to Tyrese Maxey to Paul George. These guys are just, for him to need painkilling injections for 5 straight games, that goes to show Paul George obviously was trying to make himself as available as possible. He signed a massive max contract last offseason, and that's an extreme length to go and try to be available for your team.
Agreed. Painkiller is not normally how you would describe Toradol, although Toradol does do that. So maybe it was something even stronger than that. And obviously that's not what we're looking for, in professional sports. But hopefully they're able to get healthy. And shout out to the NBA saying, you ain't going to suck on purpose anymore, okay? League sucks enough. We don't need you trying to suck anymore. We got some good momentum going right now.
There's a lot of stuff going on right now, Pat. You have the Cavaliers.
Hold on, Shams. We'll ask you about it, okay? We will dive into it because the boys have these questions for you. But there is a lot of momentum for the NBA right now. And I want to say, finding a team for trying to suck, I think that adds to the momentum of the league as a whole. I like this. I don't hate this. Now, let's talk about some of those stories. Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, sad state of affairs just because, going into the season, I don't know if you guys remember, Shams was on here like, hey, Connor, you worried about the Sixers? Like, no, this is what happens with Philly. It's sad, but, this is just the reality of it, Shams. You kind of look like an idiot. But and I don't like it. And I don't like it for you, Shams, not one bit. Because, it is what it is. The Celtics are the best. But, look.
In that way, BC, your bias definitely helped you a lot in that projection.
Yeah.
Sixers season. So I'm just crediting your bias. I'm not crediting you.
Yeah, typically it does. It is what it is, Shams. Sorry. This trophy's here for a reason. Looking at the West, though, the Warriors now are unbelievable. I think they've won, 9 of the last 10. Not sure if it's now 10 of the last 11 after Steph goes.
Are you scared of the Warriors, BC?
They're in the West. I don't worry about them. I just worry about getting to the finals. But with Steph hitting his 4,000th three, obviously hell of a year for him going all the way back to the Olympics. He's, now being considered in the GOAT conversation that's being brought up, it feels like every day, which is definitely rightfully so. How how do you feel about the Warriors now? And has Jimmy Butler's camp been able to reach out to you and apologize? Because obviously you were getting killed during all those, trade rumors. And then, of course, per usual, you were 1,000% right. These celebration videos are awesome. It's cool to see, Steph with another sweet achievement. But how are the Warriors as a whole, and do you see them making a massive run now?
Yeah, I'll start with we need to get at community notes. I'm a big X fan. Community notes, we got to go back to that tweet I had about Jimmy Butler and the trade saga.
Good
so
call.
community notes really needs to go and fix that ASAP. We need to get that handled when there was some denial, we should call it. Speaking of the war, they're 13-1 with Jimmy Butler in the lineup. This team is totally different with him there. And last night, Jonathan Kuminga got back in the lineup, and he had a great game. His ability to slash and play in the dunker spot, he came in and he averaged 21 points a game in his last 10, 12 games before his ankle injury in January. And I think he has the ability to make this team an X factor, make them even more dangerous. But I think the Jimmy Butler entrance to this organization has changed everything. The question that I kept getting around the league was like, him and Draymond Green are going to get into fights. Like that relationship, you're talking about two alphas. How are they going to get along? How are they going to coexist? And everything I hear, they're as tight as ever. They've bonded so much, and that's as tight of a relationship. And that's what's really going to drive that engine in Golden State. And here's a good story for you guys. So Stephen Curry, he had a birthday party.
Oh, I like good
weekend.
stories.
The entire team was there, from what I'm told. And the party went pretty late into the night, 2, 3 a.m.
What?
The last three people there, can you guys guess who those people were?
Steph, Draymond,
Curry,
Jimmy Butler.
Draymond and Jimmy Butler.
Holy
and
shit.
they're spending time, they're vibing, they're talking, they're getting their camaraderie, they're playing cards to end the night. And I think you're seeing how that looks right on the floor. You're seeing these guys smiling. You're seeing them laughing. You're seeing them really come together as a group, and it's translated onto the court. And what word did Jimmy Butler use when he was trying to get out of Miami? He's using the word joy. I think his joy is back now in Golden State. And I think the Warriors are playing like they thoroughly love each other. So when I look at the West, Oklahoma City, definite contender for a championship. The Denver Nuggets, definite contender for a championship. You look at that standing. I think Memphis, you have to put them in there. What can they do? What do they look like with a fully healthy Ja Morant going into this playoff run? The Lakers, before their recent injury run, they were up there as well. And now you have to put Golden State into that mix. I think this team is serious. I think they're legit. I think they have a real chance to make a deep run in this playoffs.
Okay, so obviously the Luka trade to LA was talked about. Jimmy Butler trade to Golden State, huge for all the storyline, especially because they've been healthy. And let's talk about the Los Angeles Lakers and what you just chatted about there. I got some Hembo stats here. The Lakers are 8-3 in games in which LeBron and Luka both play. They combined to average 51, 18, and 14 in those games. Okay, so obviously that's great news whenever they're on the court together. LeBron, we had Rich Paul on the show earlier this week, and he said, LeBron knows his body better than everybody, better than anybody. So, we're kind of taking it at his pace. I don't know exactly what that meant, but I think it means LeBron is a very durable person, and he has obviously transformed his body a couple different times. He pays attention to it a lot. He invests a lot of money into his body. He'll know when he's available to come back. What is the story with this Lakers team, you think? And when does, the magical duo come back?
Yeah, so let's start with the team itself. Anytime you're without LeBron James, Jackson Hayes, Rui Hachimura, those are three starters. In the NBA, if you have three of your starters out like that, it's very, very, very hard to win games, especially when you're talking about LeBron James, who has been dominant on both ends of the floor. He was on pace to make an All-NBA. If he gets back in time to qualify for All-NBA, he has to play 7 more games. He's going to be on an All-NBA team. He might even make an All-Defensive team at 40 years old in year 22. That's impressive. They need him back bad, but they also can't rush it. So you hope you're going to get Jackson Hayes, Rui Hachimura back in the coming days. Those guys are more day-to-day than I think LeBron James is. I still expect, I reported last weekend on Sunday that he's going to miss 1 to 2 weeks at least. So this Sunday or this Saturday, Sunday makes it 1 week. He's not expected to play Sunday on ABC against the Phoenix Suns, from what I'm told. I would expect him to still miss another week, so that would put him at about 2 weeks. And yeah, I mean, LeBron James knows his body better than anyone else in the NBA might know theirs.
I would hope everybody knows. I would hope everybody knows their body more than anybody.
I don't know if anyone can probably diagnose themselves as much as LeBron can, but he also had this injury already. He had a bad strained groin. He had a torn groin muscle in 2018 that he missed about a month and a half for, then came back and struggled a little bit, if you want to call it, and then he had to get shut down for that season. And so I think LeBron James knows exactly how to handle this. This is not as severe. This is not as bad. I would expect to take another week, which would put him at about 2 weeks, and we'll see how much longer than that.
I know not everybody loves this. That's deep in the NBA world. And I'm not just talking about Charles, who we love. We love Chuck. We love the TNT team. Shaq was on yesterday. That beatbox was pretty alcoholic.
Yeah, I'd say.
There's a lot of alcohol in that thing.
Mm-hmm. Tastes great.
Chugged one of them.
Shaq's in Vegas doing shows every now and then.
130 shows a year, brother. 130 shows a year is
He's
what he
the
does.
man.
Yeah, DJ Diesel's doing his thing.
Hard worker.
Spinning.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he watched the OKC Celtics game.
Yeah, no, we know.
He actually said he wasn't going to watch it. Which was wild, which is the entire thing. But, like, Barkley was trying to stick up for the whole league and trying to stick up for, like, the storylines that are already awesome in the NBA that don't involve, like, the big markets or the Los Angeles Lakers and LeBron. So I respect where he was coming from. But, like, us as football people, with the Lakers' resurgence there, with that massive trade that you broke where you said your palms were sweaty, knees weak, arms were heavy, whenever you put that tweet out, I think, in an interview. But nonetheless, as soon as that happens, a lot of the casuals like us were like, ooh, let's see how this goes. And then the way it was going was awesome. So if the NBA obviously can continue to have that with the SGA-led OKC team, I watched them against the Celtics the other night. They are so good.
They're great.
They are so good. Hey, what do you say? SGA all the way, potentially.
MVP? Maybe.
Oh.
Could it be?
Oh, we'll see. Okay. Bars from Sham Sharani.
Come on.
I love everything about it. But this guy, fun to watch. And his braids are always twisted real tight. I mean, it is some of the best hair that we've seen in professional sport in a long time. I don't know if he's getting that twisted every single day, but it does feel like
he must be. He must be getting it right because that does not impact his game. It doesn't come in his. It doesn't come
it's
in.
Tight. I mean, it is
touch his
tight.
Neck, doesn't impact anything. Doesn't swirl anywhere. Like he's locked.
It never looks loose. It is. He has great hair. He's seemingly very charming. Affable. Everybody seemingly in all of the aspects, SGA is a superstar. He's not the only one on that OKC team. Ty has a question for you.
That's right, Shams. OKC got back there, 7'1", 105-pound phenom. Mr. Skeletor himself, Chet Holmgren. He's back. How much does this change everyone's perception of Oklahoma City moving forward, save one of his skinny little legs snaps in half like a toothpick?
I mean, him and Jalen Williams, a.k.a. J-Dub, those guys are stars as well. And Jalen Williams got named to the All-Star team. If Chet Holmgren was healthy this season, he would have been an All-Star in all likelihood as well. So they would have had 3 All-Stars in the All-Star game. And this is a perennial team. This is a team that's potentially set to be together for years and years and years to come. And that starts with SGA, though, right? Like, the way they developed him, they traded for him after 1 year with the Clippers. I think SGA learned a lot from Lou Williams in the Clippers, but he learned even more, and he really developed with the Oklahoma City Thunder in that regime. They gave him a max contract when no one really knew, is he a max player, but they believed in him, and they got him. And I really look back, when I think about this from a business perspective, all of this with Oklahoma City, though, started last season. When they were home-growing Josh Giddey and they were able to trade him for Alex Caruso, that's a young player that you have built in your system, and you're able to have the value and go get Caruso. And then they made a trade at the deadline. They got Gordon Hayward last year at the deadline, $30 million that they sent out in future salary. And they got Gordon Hayward, and I think there was a lot of criticism. Why did they make this trade? And there was some back and forth. Gordon Hayward didn't really understand why he was there, and Sam Presti was like, I don't know if this is good. But why, though? They made that because they were able to open up a $30 million slot that they gave to Isaiah Hartenstein, who was a big part of this team, too. This is a team. And I think it starts with SGA. It starts with Chet Holmgren as well as Jalen Williams, a.k.a. J-Dub. But they're 8-9 deep, and I think this is a team in the playoffs where if some of those guys can step up to the challenge, I mean, they're one of the favorites as well, along with Cleveland.
Hartenstein's got a mask on, too, I believe, right? He has a nose. Mm-hmm. I think I saw him in the Batmobile the other day.
he's got a nice nasal fracture, I believe, or some nasal injury, but he's been balling. He's been doing his thing. Obviously missed in New York, but he's going to have a big role on this team. Having him finish games with Chet Holmgren, who is much more than 105, but as our guy Ty is referring to, he's on the slender side. He's still growing into his body. These guys are young guys.
He had a little beard the other night, I think, when I was watching. He was
sick hair.
I mean, he was stroking from three.
He's a monster. Just think about it. If they had him healthy all season, could this team have won 65, 68, 70 games?
I think it's going to be, and I know Kevin Durant, who's 6'11", doesn't want to say he's a 7-footer, but in Wemby is same as I think. If you're able to keep somebody that's built like that, obviously a weapon in basketball, healthy for the entire season, that seems to be a modern marvel as well. Like I think at OKC they're assuming that Chet's going to miss some games because of how can you be that tall and your joints? Like there has to be something that's just my natural thoughts, and that goes for anybody I think that's ever been overly, I don't want to say overly sized, but overgrown,
tall.
Big, like Andre.
That's always anytime a guy
go back to Andre the Giant.
7'3", you're dealing with foot injuries. You're always dealing with something, and that's always the worry. And thankfully, Victor Wembanyama hasn't had anything severe. Obviously, he has the blood clot in his shoulder now. We wish him the speedy recovery. Chet Holmgren had a freak fall on his hip, fractured his hip. Like, those are things, thankfully, like, these are freak situations. It's not like he's had a foot injury that's, that continues to linger year after his, rookie year.
Yeah, but you talk about Wemby there. His family, knew about all the foot and the ankle stuff. Allegedly, through high school, they were, training his feet and his ankles and, trying to make the things that are going to take a much bigger beating than they would with most other humans be as healthy as possible. It's a real thing you got to think about. That's why Kevin Durant, with how much he's been able to just move. Now, granted, he has had injuries. Obviously, injuries are going to happen. But with how long he's been playing, with how he's been able to move in his build, it's what an absolute.
Well, how about the return from Achilles? I don't think we're ever going to see a return from Achilles to that level of Kevin Durant. He had the Achilles injury at 30 years old. Usually, after you have an Achilles tear, your career goes on the decline or you're steady at best. He's been playing his best basketball, and he's now 36 years old. No one has played at this level after an Achilles tear. That's for sure.
Hopefully, Wemby's able to just do it.
Oh, no.
Hopefully, Wemby's because he's special. He's fun to watch. Mm-hmm. He is. It's like you're watching a movie.
Yeah. And he's the guy on San Antonio. Holmgren's awesome, but SGA's obviously scoring 30, 40 points a night.
Yeah, SGA's the guy.
Yeah, exactly. And OKC could be the team to turn the tide on the Celtics as far as the Celtics being, kind of baby faces all of a sudden, because a lot of people feel the way Ty feels about Holmgren, and then SGA, the style play SGA plays. That if there's more eyes on it, people might start.
What was that commercial?
BC's scared of OKC.
I want OKC. I want to play OKC. They're so young.
You played them the other night. It did not end up well for Boston, but obviously regular season, having to win in a series is vastly different, especially if it was in the finals. But let's stay in the East. Big storyline coming coming once again that kind of ended last year's season as the storyline in the Garden in New York. AP Tone has a question for you, Shams.
Yeah, Shams, you talked about Hartenstein and the Knicks missing them. It feels like they're missing anyone who can play 40, 45 minutes a night. The Knicks, they were worn down in the playoffs. They had a lot of injuries in the playoffs last season. It's coming up again. Mikal Bridges and Tom Thibodeau potentially, or not agreeing on playing time and minutes and stuff like that. Thibodeau's been like this everywhere he's been. How do you see that going in New York?
I think these are healthy conversations. If I'm looking at Mikal Bridges, he has clearly felt this way for a while, and for him to say it publicly, I'm sure this is stuff that he's tried to get across privately as well. And I think for him, this is more of a resort of listen, I've probably tried to say things privately, and now if we're going to try to get this right and turn this season and try to be at that level and get that trust in our bench, we have to challenge and we need to have these conversations. I think it is healthy. I think it's productive. And it sounds like, from my understanding, him and Tom Thibodeau have had productive conversations in the aftermath of all this. So now you move forward, and we won't know how this stuff is all going to get impacted until we see the return of Jalen Brunson. How does Mitchell Robinson get utilized come playoff time? And at the end of the day, will the starters get worn down? Will those players not be able to finish the season at a high level? One thing about Tom Thibodeau, he always has his team play at elite levels, especially in the regular season. And they've always been there in the playoffs too. I mean, just from the Bulls teams to the Minnesota teams, like he always gets his teams to overachieve in the regular season, and then in the playoffs, things have to break right. And unfortunately, some of his teams have had a lot of bad luck. Like the year Derrick Rose tore his ACL, they were a favorite to win the championship. You can't really, it's hard when you have a torn ACL. That could be a freak thing, could be a wear and tear, whatever. So. I think it is healthy to have those conversations. I mean, from a professional athlete perspective, like you guys know, like you have to have these moments and challenging each other.
And that's what I was going to bring up is like when Chip Kelly came to the NFL, everybody was like, this guy's going to change the NFL because he's going to bring this up pace, high speed offense from Oregon to the Philadelphia Eagles. They got LaShawn McCoy, who can play running back. They got all the pieces. And the boys, once we started, I think everybody around the NFL, and I don't want to speak for AJ in the Packers locker room, but everybody in our locker room, whenever we were watching them, like the first 5-6 weeks, with how many plays they were running and how up, it was like, they're not going to be able to survive. Like, these dudes are not going to be able to survive how long the NFL season is, let alone at the end of the season. That's when the most important football is. And that was the same exact convo that was happening with NBA guys that we were talking to, retired NBA guys and guys that were currently in the league. They're like, this Knicks team has to break at some point. Like, there's no way a human body can go as hard as they have gone. And then it happened against the Pacers. Like, you saw it happen. I think Jalen got hurt in that series.
OG.
Like, and it was like things like, I don't, ACLs I think can happen to anybody. Achilles can happen to anybody. But it'd be like a muscle strain or something happen that is like wear and tear, exhaustion kind of thing. And it was almost like the convo about the Knicks end of their year. And then going into the season, and I'm a doofus, obviously, but I do remember that happening because it was like the Pacers benefited from that conversation. I was like, is Tibbs gonna change the way, or are they gonna not play as much? Disappear. That was at the beginning of the season, and then now it's like a talk again. It's like, no, yeah, they're running that shit back. Literally, they are. They are.
Well, the season was like, I remember at the first month of the season, what I was hearing from other team execs were like, other scouts and people at these games are like, have you seen the Knicks rotations lately? And I'm like, yeah, I've seen the box scores. Like, have you noticed, like, their starters are literally playing like 38 to 40 minutes. It's like a 7-man rotation the first month of the season. And I'm like, yeah, that's pretty crazy to think about. Early part of the season, like, you have 8, 9, 10-man rotations. But I will say that's kind of shifted a little bit ever since that first month of the year. And I think for the Knicks, it's all we're gonna see answers in the playoffs. And I do think these conversations are healthy, and it sounds like they've handled it the right way in the aftermath.
Two, keeping people healthy. Like, we want people to play. I think that's what everybody wants the NBA to play. But it's like, if you literally, what just happened last year was felt like that was literally the only reason that was being talked about why the Pacers beat the Knicks, right? Wasn't that the story that you guys Knicks fans were saying, Bruce? Wasn't that kind of the thing?
Yeah, I mean, Julius Randle fell and dislocated his shoulder. Jalen Brunson broke his hand. OG Anunoby with the hamstring strain was probably the only injury that you could point to and say that was too many minutes. This season, Precious Achiuwa was injured to start the year, so we didn't have much depth. But we do need to play Deuce McBride more. Like, he's a great backup guard. And Tibbs he's one of those coaches, it's not so much like he just wants to play the starters 48 minutes a night. He just won't watch bad basketball. So if you come in, turn the ball over, and don't play good defense, he's putting Brunson and the boys back out there, as soon as he can.
I love that. I hope they end up winning. Yeah. I do. I hope they end up winning, and I hope there is like a marathon ability from these guys. But everybody that's in the basketball world says that that's potentially an issue. We'll find out. They could be built different. I also love the Tibbs like, I ain't watching it.
Yeah.
Okay?
This sucks.
Get these fuckers off the court. They're not representing my team. I can't take it anymore. I respect that. I appreciate that. Shams, what have we not brought up that we should whenever it comes to NBA storylines?
Yeah, Cavs going for their 16th in a row.
Congratulations.
Tonight, I think, against Memphis. They've been, you think about in the Eastern Conference, the Cavs, the Celtics, you have to throw the Bucks in there. Pacers, could they make a run?
Yes.
New York, can they make a run? So I think the Eastern Conference, if you're looking at the Cavs and the Celtics, if you're looking at this standings right here, and we end up with the Cavs Celtics conference finals, like, that's going to be a bloodbath. That's going to be an amazing series. Another guy we haven't given much love to, obviously Donovan Mitchell, gets a lot of love everywhere. Darius Garland, all-star guard. Evan Mobley. Like, you think about those types of bigs You think about Chet Holmgren, Victor Wembanyama. Evan Mobley's in that category as well. He's a guy that can defensively, on offense, he's dynamic, playmaking. He's dynamic. He's had a few almost triple doubles this year as well, and he's played at an elite level from a big man perspective. He's 7'1", so or 6'11", 7'1". So he's also a beast inside.
All right, we appreciate it all. I know you have ESPN, NBA, full court press Saturday.
Yeah!
NBA Countdown with Shams, Kendrick, Malika, Stephen A., and Bob Myers. That starts at 8 p.m. on ABC. And then obviously Knicks and Warriors with Mike Breen, Doris Burke, Richard Jefferson, and Lisa Salters on the call at 8:30. We can't wait to watch, Shams. Are you at the desk now? We got you at the desk?
Here and there. I play the role. I play.
What does that mean? It sounds like a no. Let's keep working, Shams.
When we're ready to deliver information, I'm ready, baby.
Maybe you get another Luka biggest trade tweet of all time out there, and maybe you'll get an opportunity to speak. Okay, let's fucking head down, keep grinding, like you were 5 years ago. Whenever we first saw you on March 12th.
Hey, I was in like a spaceship 5 years ago, so I think we've come a long way.
Wow. We have, look at that.
Look at you.
Simple mobile hotline. That is, think about whoever was selling those.
That's a young Pat, though. That's a young Pat. I don't know if you've got some you've got a little bit more hair.
I was probably 285.
More refined.
I was probably 285 in this. 275, 285.
Right after the 2019 season. That was a tough one for us.
Is that the same watch, too? Or
nope, different watch.
Yeah,
that was probably
you and Zion, both at the lowest weight of your careers.
Interesting. I'm probably 255 right now. I know I played at like 230. So.
Well, in the soccer photo.
Yeah, I was down.
Well, I'm sure
205
Zion played at less at Duke, but I'm saying for your career, this career.
Yeah, this is probably the lightest I've been. No. I got real light for NXT with Adam Cole.
Definitely lightest.
I got real light
Austin
with
Theory.
WrestleMania for Austin Theory.
But those are reasons. You got light for that. We're talking light for real.
Light for living. Yeah, we're living here, Sean. Just like you. We'll watch you this weekend, and we appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, Sham Sharani. Thank you. A big weekend of basketball, AJ. Obviously, we got the NBA Full Court Press Saturday on ESPN. Should be great. College ball conference championships happening all weekend. Golf happening. Hockey happening. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday. I hope it's the best weekend ever.
Ooh.
I think I snuck it in.
Oh, yeah.
Snuck it in there.
Should be.
I'm so pumped for the golf.
Yeah, it's real golf.
Well, yeah, this is like the first one where it's like, okay, you can get behind.
Speaking of Tiger Woods, heard he's in potential happy place personally.
Yeah.
That's what the internet's saying. We're not going to talk about it because who knows? Somebody will try to sue us out of the entirety of it. Sure. Heard Tiger's got a new lady. But also,
love it.
Achilles. That is I don't think we've talked about it on this particular program. Tiger Woods tore his Achilles.
Yes.
That is brutal. That's a great way to describe that, especially after all the injuries and all the things that have happened. For him to have to fight back the amount of times that he has, that car crash was crazy. We thought he was potentially dead, right? That was being talked about there. Instead, it was just massively damage to his body, his lower body, his back, and everything. And then now an Achilles tear. And we know Tiger Woods will do the Tiger Woods thing. He'll do the Achilles. He'll commit fully to the recovery. He'll come back and be super jacked, and he'll try to golf and get through it all again. That's like Tiger Woods' mentality. I think it always has been. But that sucks. That sucks for him, especially with, TGL happening.
Yes, so much. That dude has I just think of him as a human trying to walk around and live like a normal life. Like he already is very we know he almost snapped his leg in half, and he has those crazy back injuries too. When you have if your back hurts, everything sucks in life. It's impossible to do anything. That dude doesn't he have his back fused, and he's had multiple surgeries now with the Achilles, leg snapped in half. Like he has just absolute massive amount of things to his body. Like I feel bad for the dude when it comes to that.
Me too. We appreciate it, and obviously he's been paid very, very well for everything he's done. So we're not saying that he, is living a tough life compared to other folks, but he has given us so many years of entertainment, and obviously his body has taken a beating through it all. The Achilles is the most recent, but you think about that, so when he comes back issues, anytime you see somebody with a back issue, the way they walk is very obvious, but he can't walk certain ways because of how fucked up his legs are. Mm-hmm. So now his back is potentially going to get fucked up because how he's going to have to walk with the Achilles, let alone the leg. I mean, it's just everything kind of feeds into the other. Why won't he walk fucking 18 holes? It's like, all right. The fact that this guy's still walking, I think we should all be pretty pumped for. And then on the other side of his Achilles, I can't wait to see him win his next major.
I hope.
Why are you guys?
This might be.
I hope he goes to the Champions Tour because I think he's just he's too jacked for one. Like I think he needs to lose. Like he can't be that jacked with how old he is. It's just his body just breaks down. So when he does come back, like, is he gonna have to change how he plays? Like, I don't want to see Tiger going out there getting outdriven by 3/4 of the field. Like, these guys are just getting too
really good.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like so it's just not the same. And granted, like when he
Akshay Bhatia right now, who dropped out of like high school to try to become a professional golfer, is now like top 5 at the Players. He's a stud.
He is, and like
it's a next generation.
Like I like Akshay, but like I don't want to watch Akshay beating Tiger because then for me that's like you know what I mean. Like if Scotty beats Tiger, if Rory beats Tiger, sure.
It's not ruining the gimmick, brother.
Exactly, but like if he's going out there and it's kind of like what it is right now, like. It's not fun watching Tiger at the Masters when you hope he goes out and shoots like a 68 the first day, and then you see him kind of start to break down the second day and either makes a cut and then has to like withdraw on the third day because he just can't do it, or he shoots like an 83 on the second day and misses the cut. Like that's just not the Tiger I want to remember when we all saw him with how dominant he was. So I hope he goes to the Champions Tour where he can get it in a cart, and then he's playing Freddie Boom Boom couples, and he's kind of that guy again.
Yeah, or he goes to he joins Turkey, the Crown Prince, God bless him, and lives golf.
God bless him.
And then it kind of just goes that route. It maybe unites Liv and PGA, being the final guy to be like, hey, it's time. It's time to just screw all this bullshit. Like thinking about the players, it's awesome watching the players. So happy about it. It would be better with Bryson and Brooks and those guys who are over there. DJ, it would be awesome if all those guys were playing the players, and if Tiger were to be that final piece to be like, hey, my final kind of contribution to the game of golf exactly is I'm going to be the one that just says enough of this. You guys are now the same league. We're doing this. The live tournaments that are in the United States, those are just going to be a part of the PGA now. And if there's one in London, that's just a normal PGA event, not a major or anything like that. Like we're going to do that as well.
Yeah, and you could turn some of these tournaments into a live style of golf.
Exactly. Yeah.
Some of these PGA off weekend ones.
And those PGA guys, if they don't like that,
what's that?
What happened? What do you mean? Like a year ago, 2 years ago, they said they came to an agreement. Like where did that?
3-4 different times now. Remember?
Yeah.
There was a coffee meeting in Italy. That was the first one. Whenever the president of the PGA, who was
Monahan?
It?
Yeah, Jay Monahan.
Yeah, Monahan. Remember, he came out early and was just high horsing to hell on all the golfers that were getting multi-generational wealth laid in their lap for the first time ever in the golf world. And we learned a lot about the life of a PGA golfer, about what's guaranteed, what's not guaranteed. Oh, everything is not guaranteed. We will certainly make money off of you this week, and you not necessarily will make any money no matter how great you are or how big your name is. So there was some holes in the professional golf world that were certainly taken advantage of by a big money partner. But said big money partner was obviously cast aside and said, we're never doing business with this person. If you do business with a person, you are the devil. Actually, you are the worst person on earth. You shouldn't be able to sleep at night, let alone hit a golf ball if you do this. And then what, like a year later, maybe 13 months later, there was a secret meeting between the Crown Prince and the director of sports for Saudi Arabia and Jay Monahan. He comes back. He goes and takes a leave. He leaves because they kick him out basically because there was a lot of PGA golfers that were offered $80, $90, $100 million to go join LIV, and they said no because they were riding with the PGA. And then the PGA all of a sudden is going like, well, wait, how much money do you have? We will potentially take that. So that was like a big thing. And then there was the government trying to get involved with a monopoly. There was a lot of stuff that was kind of happening. But yeah, 2 to 3 different times it has been in our world what we have seen in talked about. They've had an agreement where they've come together and we're all pumped. We're like, okay, so now the PGA is getting access to everything is gonna everything's gonna get better and all the best golfers are gonna be there. And yeah, I don't know if anything's ever really come of it and what it means. It's always
how long are these live deals? Like I know Brooks recently said he still has to fulfill his obligation, right? Like for his contract with live, and then after that he doesn't know what's going to happen. But are we going to see some of these guys not renew with live and come back to the PGA?
I think allegedly I read something that DeChambeau's contract is up too soon with live. Maybe this is last season or something.
I read that as well. I don't know the details though.
I guess there was an amount of money that he asked for, and
he said that was not true.
Okay, so he said it's not true. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, these contracts I guess are coming up.
And they just come right back to the PGA and get their card and like they never left. Will that work?
No, because remember at one point it was said, if you do this, you're never welcome back.
Yeah, you're banned.
And then the Masters were like, all the majors were like, we're certainly going to let them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to let them play.
We don't care.
Yeah, you PGA is your guys.
You want to see the stuff that we're doing behind the scenes?
We don't.
You want to dive into the history of Augusta real quick? You want to do that?
No, what a beautiful place, obviously.
Yeah.
Beautiful place. New trees every day somehow. The whole golf world has obviously been shaken up a bit over the last couple of years. TGL was the most recent attempt to kind of make golf different form and enjoyable.
Playoffs coming up. I'm sure those guys really care.
Golfers are getting
players
testy.
Going on and stuff like that too.
What'd you say, H?
Sorry, Tyler. The golfers getting testy with the media. I see Colin Morikawa said he doesn't know anything to these people. Like
Rocco didn't.
It's
like
getting
that?
weird, man. Yeah, Rocco came right back in.
Rocco, Western Pennsylvania guy.
He's the man.
The photo that I saw of his quote had him with a stogie.
Yeah, me too.
A gray beard, backwards hat. He looked like a G.
Shades.
Like an absolute G.
Yeah, I saw that.
Arnold would have ran his ass down.
Speaking of what, Tiger won that one with a torn ACL or whatever.
We have some breaking news out of the college basketball world. Pete Dahn was reporting that Iowa is dismissing basketball coach Fran McAfee after 15 seasons. We literally just talked about this.
Wow.
We literally just talked about this about an hour ago. He reached 7 NCAA tourneys in his 15 years and is the school's all-time leader in wins with 297. Iowa finished 17-16 this year. Obviously, they lose to Illinois last night, and he got ejected during the game. In his last game as head coach of the Iowa Hawkeyes, he got kicked out. Pretty gangster way to go out, Fran.
Hell yeah, Fran.
Way to go, coach. I asked the question. I was like, okay, so does the basketball team like mirror the football team? Like good, but never really going to go? Because Fran's been there a long time. Kirk's been there a long time. Is that just kind of what it is? Ty, you actually said like this is kind of what the Iowa basketball team is. You've said they've choked a couple times. They've had a couple good teams. What are your thoughts immediately here upon hearing that Fran's on his way out of the men's basketball program?
Yeah, I mean, I think I definitely knew it was coming, so I'm not really surprised. I love Fran McAfee. A lot of people don't like him because he is like that, or I guess people within Iowa, I think, like him. A lot of people outside don't like him because he is. He's fiery, he's a psycho, but he's always got his guys back. But when you meet him, like he's the most he's one of the most level-headed, like just good to people, He's not from Iowa. Yeah, like shit like this is awesome. Like, and he used to do stuff like this all the time. So he's just a great guy. And then like off the court, like good, just a good dude to everybody. And like Steve Alford, who people in Indiana, like a lot of like Iowa fans, like he was a prick to everybody off the court as well. Like Iowa was winning at the time and people liked him, but like he was a very well noted, like this guy's an asshole. This guy sucks. Fran wasn't that way, but it's one of those things with like Iowa football, like they have the NFL success. Like they get guys into the NFL. So like the recruiting footprint is much different. It's a lot different with Iowa basketball because like they get, they'll get good dudes, but like Iowa State is kind of like that. And, like Tyrese, and guys like that, like they get transfers in, so they don't really send a bunch of guys to the pros, so they kind of have to, like, their whole model is, hey, yeah, we might get, a good dude from St. Louis or a dude from Illinois, but most of the people who are playing basketball for Iowa are kids from Iowa, white kids from Iowa. That's, a lot of people make that joke too. Like, you watch a Big Ten game, you're not seeing a whole lot of Big Ten teams trotting 5 white dudes out there who, but Iowa has just, it's just the truth.
Well, they got the Iowa exciting whites every single year.
It is what it is, and it's like, so they do what they can. Like if they've always been one of those teams where if they shoot really well, they can beat anybody because they shoot a shitload of threes. But that's what happens in the tournament. You go cold and you end up getting beat by 20 because you can't shoot it all. So it did run its course. Like he coached 2 of his kids all the way through there. He had another kid who's a senior in high school right now, and he didn't commit to Iowa. So I think a lot of people saw that and were like, the end's probably near. I mean, it's just it's a little bit different than football. I think they'll stay with Kirk forever because he's won a couple BCS bowls. Like he's kind of entitled to that, I think. Basketball, it's just like, and I don't know if NIL and stuff like that, like the football team is always going to be like, I don't know how much the facilities are nice and everything, but I don't know how much boosters around the state of Iowa, like they care. But if it's a pecking order, like money and resources and funds are always going to go to the football team.
And women's basketball.
And wrestling, maybe.
Now, for sure. Wrestling just got a new deal. So it's like, it's one of those things where.
That's
like,
crazy to think about.
Yeah, like if they won, that would probably change a little bit. But I think it is one of those things, like they've had a couple of these teams and they just haven't had the success in the postseason. So
him staring at that ref, not saying a thing. You proud of yourself?
Got his player comes to tap him to try to pull him away. Nah, don't even think about it.
No, thanks. I gotta let this fucker know with my look that I do not appreciate the way he's doing whatever the fuck.
So awesome.
You feel good?
That looks like Shefty. The ref kind of looks like Shefty.
Yeah, and the ref steps forward too. I appreciate it because look, the ref will move up too. Yep. What?
Yep.
What? Frank goes, don't you say you stepping at me, motherfucker?
Yeah. Get off the court.
I'm just kind of waltzing over. I can't believe you. That's what he's saying with his whole body right there. Can't eject me. I'm not going to say anything, but I just want you to know I'm not happy with what you're doing.
I love this part. Here, come on, here we go, Coach. Come on, here we go.
Yeah, I'll be here. Hold on 1 second. What? What if he would have hit the ball out of his hands?
Oh.
That would have been the ball out of the hands would have been great right there. Hell of a run, Fran.
Yeah, to his credit too, he got hired my freshman year of college in Iowa, or right after the basketball season. My freshman year, Iowa fucking sucked before he got there. Todd Licklider, who used to be the coach at Butler, small school, took him on like a couple runs. He came in, he went like, I think he won 9 games his first year and like 8 games his second year. Like Iowa basketball was in a really bad spot. And Fran, leaving the all-time wins leader, took him to 7 NCAA tournaments. Like, I think a lot of people will look very fondly on his time in Iowa City.
All right. Well, that's good. Good thing they're in program on.
Hell yeah.
Got a great weekend ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Conference basketball games are on right now.
Pumped.
A lot of things are happening. Diane Rossini is reporting some scoopage from Scoop Town.
Scoop Town.
Now, granted, news changes every day, I think, with teams and everything like that. So what information is being said today is maybe not the same as it was 2 days ago or maybe even this morning, as things continue to evolve. Allegedly, what she is now reporting is that the Minnesota Vikings are trying to figure out what they want to do with Aaron Rodgers or J.J. McCarthy, or what they want to do with their team. So Aaron's giving them time to make their decision. And now the Vikings have yet to make a decision. So we all wait. Okay, so
a bunch of nothing.
Seems to be what's going on right now. Is that real? Possibly, maybe. I mean, Diane Rossini has a lot of inside sources. Is that real right now? Maybe. Will that change tomorrow?
Good.
And yesterday was maybe. Who knows? Who knows what's happening behind closed doors in all these buildings? Who knows what text messages are being sent? Who knows what emails are being kind of passed back and forth? Who knows what agents are saying to different teams? I mean, it's pretty chaotic business, the NFL and free agency as a whole, let alone whenever you got a guy who's a Mount Rushmore player, first ballot Hall of Famer, potentially making a decision for the last time of his football life on what jersey he's going to wear, which is obviously a big moment for him, and if he will play football again.
That's right.
But what we do know is there's a chance there's going to be a sunset walk because source says have told us that that's the MO. Get a blanket, it's a little chilly out here. Won't go see the sun go
He's
down.
got to set it up. He's got to make it a good one.
Do it, Aaron.
He's got to really do something for them.
Yeah, because Aaron's like, when the sun goes down, I'll be moving down the beach sometime. That's what he's doing. Just contemplate.
Bet you it's beautiful.
I mean, I don't. We saw the Zillow.
That's pretty beautiful.
That's a part of it, though. That whole
exactly.
Thing. Staged the photo, walking on his beach with his wired headphones, with that blanket wrapped around him. That's what he wanted. Backwards hat. Wants people to think he's cool. It's crazy. All right, let's get to a break. We'll see you on Monday. Thank you all so much for allowing us to do this for a living. Remember, big night on April 9th will be a great time. Are we streaming that show? Ooh, we shall see. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. On that note, boys in the back, great work.
Great work, boys.
All of you, great work.
Boys.
Graphic boys, great work.
Great boys.
Mitt, you fucked up a podcast upload, but everything else you did great. That's on everybody else for having you do that. Just want to let you know. I did not know that was the case until maybe 12 hours later. So that's not on you. That's more so on me. But see also group decision there, Mitt. You're doing great, Mitt.
Hey, Mitt.
Doing great. Drink some more water, Mitt. AJ, great work this week.
Thank you. Does Mitt not drink water or what?
This morning he was just sitting there. He's 26 years old and just had a bout of coughing that thought it was going to kill him. And then after it was done, he just sat there, took it, and then just kept working. Didn't even look for a water. Eyes running at that point, obviously, because he was choked. Didn't even think about, like, getting a water or a drink anything. Just kept on working. Foxy actually had to get up, get him a water. Dry? Yeah?
This helps.
I was sick of hearing him cough.
Yeah. He goes,
no shit.
Thanks, man. Drinks it. Obviously stopped. It's like, all right. What would Mitt be doing if he didn't work here?
Probably be dead.
Yeah, exactly.
I hope not.
Come on.
I hope not. I hope not. And that was all
Keep him out of the car.
Out of cars, keep him out, a lot of things. Let's also keep him out of uploading podcasts. Okay, let's make sure that's the case. We learned that. Maybe next year. Maybe next year we'll get into that stage of life. And, it's been a great week this week. We appreciate you all for allowing us to do it for a living. Thank you to all of our guests that stopped by. And thank you to everybody that bought tickets for a big night out. All right. We're in this thing together. Team on me. Team on 3. 1, 2, 3. Team. Goodbye.